Oh, it's a group. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, that's my phone. I'm just gonna play on my account. Bro, never even heard a song. Dude, can y'all get rid of the Star Wars stuff, bro? No way Jalen Ramsey's getting traded again. What do you want me to play first? Alright. Move. I need to get a mouse pad. They changed the menu. Ew, I don't like that. They changed this too much. They put the loading time in the bottom left. No way the Air Force Ones are 2,000 V-Bucks. Not buying that. Oh, I already gifted it to you. I don't remember. Damn, I don't even have enough. Have fun with that because they barely make it. And then one customer wanted it today because there was like 5 on the shelf, and one of the pieces was hard as a rock. And I threw that piece away because I actually felt bad. But yeah, people barely get it, but there's soft ones in the thing, I believe, because I keep another pan for it. I felt bad when I accidentally put I put salt and pepper on it. That shit actually made me sad. I was like, damn. Now can you? Ow. Oh no. When was I muted? Fuck. Oh. not mean to shoot. Wait, I hit that? Oh, wow. I didn't think I hit that first one. I actually was kind of lost, low-key, because I didn't even think I hit that. Nah, props. Nah, clap it up though. I actually use the minigun this time. I didn't try to rush in with the shotgun. not? Got like 18 green pumps this game. And I only get a blue one if I kill someone for it. Have to earn it, aw gun. That shit is annoying. Oh, no, I need to see my thing. Oh yeah, the heavy shotgun. Yeah, that was really a decision make for me because I wanted to rock doubles the whole time. Because this blue pump hits for, I'm getting sniped at. And I actually want to like start winning, so I need to stop bullshitting, like for real. I play so ass. Before I actually used to maybe be okay. Like the way I had to keep dying is like ridiculous. That was fucking close. Right, you wanted to use that sniper pretty fucking bad. It was gonna work. Hold on, because what did you say? That was just 2 minutes ago. I want to do it so bad. Minigun or double blue pump. You get to decide. I don't know if you heard me. Alright, that's fair. I mean, I'm just seeing what moves with it, but I already know how I be when I see stuff on the for loot. Go and take the same shit and die each game and say I'm gonna get better. I don't even need to be looting. I technically have the best loot in the game, outside of shields. Bitch. That wasn't a headshot? This nigga's in a bush. Is he? I didn't see in the. Oh my god, you're one of those. Watch me get one pumps for doing this too. Oh my god! Come the fuck on, bro. Hey. All of this just to get a fat ass number 2 on my screen. Choke Royale. Right, just like yesterday's stream. Played the first game hot, fall off right after that. Nah, I need to start landing tilted every game, bro. Yeah, now we pushing it with the ego. Alright, jackass. Can't do it, right? Run it back, do it next game. Right, go and get 80th. Right off of a crown win. Fucking serious? Oh shit. No, that's the guy from earlier. I don't know if you're watching anymore. Dumbass. Oh. Like, come on, bro. Oh, fuck. No, because I was gonna let him keep building up there, because I was just gonna take the minigun and just shoot him down. No, that game showed that the blue pump can actually like can do its worth. Because I hit him I hit him like 200. I think I 200 pumped him to kill him anyways. I did full headshot damage. I'm like, no, that's how it's supposed. That's how it's supposed to go. Not hitting people for 20, 50, 75. Like, no, every other shot should at least be like at least 150, bro. Yeah, because I only won that game because of you. Because if I didn't have that, there would have been no other way for me to shoot him down, and my dumbass would have went up there and tried to build fight him, and end up dying, or at least getting RPG'd from being down from all the way where I was at. And then one of them eventually ends up hitting my ass. I was trying to bait him out so I could headshot snipe him. So I hit him like 2 times earlier. I should have let the guy that was AFK win the game. He wasn't even playing. He was just standing there. That just made the whole lobby look bad. No way an AFK player probably. I wonder how long he was probably standing there. Right, because I don't even know who this is. Alright, where do you want me to land? We got Tilted, Pleasant, I think Anarchy Acres, Tomato Town, Retail, Salty. Fuck. I don't know if you've seen them. And I can't activate it because of my fucking settings. My fault. Alright, I'm gonna land at the prison this game. Probably gonna regret it too after this loot's gonna be pretty fucking ass, but oh shit, there's a llama over there. Yeah, we're gonna have a fucking sweat game, so I'm probably not gonna have that good a run. But I'll try and lock in. Man, no one wants no fucking C4. This dude's a god at the game. I'm like, yeah, call me a bitch, but hell no. Oh, you didn't miss much. I was asking you where I was landing at, but it was fine. I landed at the jail, but there was 2 people there, and I almost got shit on. I mean, and you didn't miss much. I mean, we're only like 5 minutes into the game. There's already like 50 people left. Like, this shit happens every time after you play one regular game and win that shit. There's like no fucking lobby after this. But that's on me. I should have landed somewhere better because this I'm not gonna get far. Yeah. Slurp juice. Oh my fucking god. No way. Alright, I'm gonna regret this. If you do this every game, I'm ready. Right, this is such a low kill game. Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like you play one real game and win, you get all real people, and then like all the bots or whatever just die out. It slows it. That's what makes this whole. That's what makes the whole thing boring. That's why nobody plays this shit anymore. Because when you came back with your tacos and stuff, there was already 53 people left, and I only picked up 2 guns off spawn. Like I just formatively like got my loot together, and there's already nobody left. Like I don't see shit. There's probably people over there. I heard a guy right there. That might be a bot. Damn, bro. I just got shit on, I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't hit him once. That's on me. Right. He's gonna have fun trying to look for the next 19 people after that. Yeah, exactly right. Once he started hitting those shots before I hit, once he started hitting those shots before I hit the ground, I'm like, yeah, that's a real player. No way a gray pump is better than a green. I hit him for 25. Literally. Like, you gotta see how I play in order to even pay attention to this fucking game. Like, if I really move it's literally, like, the monitor is literally, like, right here. Kaisen at our stream. I'm just gonna take my chat everywhere I go. If we ain't live on the computer, it's straight to my phone. If it's not on my phone, we back on the setup. IRL stream gonna go nuts. Yelling in the bathroom prank. Work edition. What kind of YouTube video starts off like that? I don't know why I didn't buy the battle pass. Because it was a waste of money. As I literally spent $10 to get the emo. What'd you say? Unless it does that double thing where it said you said put something, it said that it. I'm already playing dumb. Alright, whatever, fuck it. Right, you chose to land here, genius. Go pump, go pump. Oh my god. I get a sniper shotgun. Dude, where is this shit? You have no health. Right fucking hit him. Like, damn. I'm about to get a Zen. Seriously, bro. Aim's so fucking bad. Damn. Fuck. Oh. No, what'd I just do? Because it beeps again. That's why I'm like, what the hell? Shit. Might be one of the smartest players in the league. Holy shit. I don't even know what's gotten into me this game. I've never played like this. Look at this try-harding ass bitch. Going into Storm is crazy work. Finally lasered him. Yeah, I low-key feel bad because I don't feel bad. His internet's ass. Yeah, for real, right? Because I thought he was right behind me, was gonna hit me for more damage. No, 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 no! I have to reload. I love you. No! Oh my god! I had to reload my shotgun, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Bro. Oh my god. I don't even know how many kills I had that game. Yeah, exactly. He was right there, and I had to reload my shotgun because he went like this, and then I pulled out my AR because I was the only gun I could shoot him with. And then he took his shotgun and shot me once, and I died. Dude, I'm literally shaking right now. I don't even think I died once that game. Oh my god, bro. I was going off too at the end. I wasn't even saying anything. That's fucking crazy. Because I didn't reload my shot. I'm never playing with that one again. Because that other kid, before I ended up losing the game, I could have killed him like 3 minutes ago. Yeah, and then the guy called Moose, he was spectating me the whole time. Right, this dude spectated the whole game and chatted me on Xbox, and then he said all of that just to lose, and I put for real, and I'm like, sent you back early, not gonna lie. Right, you didn't even place in the top 50 if you over here still sitting watching me play the game out, bro. Must be a fan. That motherfucker, you saw me reloading my shotgun. Literally, on PlayStation, you would be damned for somebody to text you. That's how you know a motherfucker gets mad. Oh my god. This dude sat here the whole time and watched me play that. He's still chatting. You ain't sent back nothing. You say directly my wall, Demi. Your phone broke properly. Would have been back in the lobby. Broke, touch a bag. As he's sitting here out of his complacent time and watching me play. I mean, that's how I'd be on this platform. Right, how many matches do you have played today? You can compare those through. Be the same people too that go, I dropped the follow. Literally, you type that much on here, you literally use emoticons when you're chatting me. How about the pump shotgun didn't work? I literally had a Ranger shotgun when we were fighting. This motherfucker died on Fortnite and went straight to Xbox chat message apps and started texting me on there. Right? Okay. You want me to do it on here or in the... I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you never even see me play with the Thunder Pump shotgun. I was reloading that shit the whole entire game. Still could have killed the dude though. Literally had him like 8 different times. $33. $33. This is why I don't play with attack. Right, I might as well just die this one out because I'm not gonna be able to get a good life out of it. Dude, just kill me. I don't want to play this shit. Oh my fucking god. I mean, literally. You want to play? Do you want? No, Pump is better. Nah, because let me show you the Xbox chat. Because I actually hurt this dude's feelings for playing a free downloadable game. He blocked me. Like, there's no way, bro. Yeah, he blocked me after sending that. Yeah, he says if my pump worked properly, you would have been in the lobby. And then he literally just went offline after that. Lucky I didn't L dance on your punk ass. His jackass probably order a meatball sub. Literally, I could have killed him if I was playing on mobile. Let me show you the chat and reverse it, because he literally came on here and started talking shit. Like, after, he literally watched the whole entire game after that. You can't even see it. But, it was on Friends right here. Is it too bright for you to literally look at? It is. That's crazy. Can I pull up Xbox chats on my laptop and share screen? No, I'm share screening this. This dude was telling me that he was telling me I was broke and told me to go catch a bag while we're both literally playing Fortnite at the same time. So that's like a terrible metaphor. We talk about people being ass and shit. Why are we in the same game then? Right? Why are we in the same game then? Are we even gonna sit here and like do this shit? Because I made you get offline. Think about that. No, he doesn't even pop up on here when I go on the computer. So I probably did get blocked, and I can probably only view it on here because he literally typed me in and then looked at it. Yeah, I can't even pull it up on the laptop. Bruh. Not even with the coming with the fame. If we, again, because it's always about recording everything, we all know what happened, bruh. Just like the Cavs. Wham, take your ass home. Get them plane tickets. If my pump worked properly, I got a mythic fucking Ranger shotgun where it shoots like this. You shoot the damn thing, and then it literally goes down like a, literally like a. Don't we all? You see the lobbies we play in. And if he was watching it too, I literally fought him literally 3 different times. Literally, I had a Ranger shotgun, so when you shoot the shit and you have to recoil, it literally looks like an erectile dysfunction penis before you fucking reload it, and then you go like this to shoot the shit again. If my pump worked properly. Please, bruh. My shotgun goes like this and shit every time I try to use the damn thing. Oh, you're leaving? You said to try with your loot. Damn, it already is 12:30. And I do. What time is your thing done by again? Because my brain keeps telling me 9 o'clock and I don't know why. Oh yeah, before you go. It's the truth though, look. You literally shoot it and it goes like this and you have to reload it again. This jackass getting mad at me for the shit. Like literally, I barely even played this season. these motherfuckers complain the whole time. Like, literally, you spent money to change $10 on your name to change it to I Am Moose. Like, tell me, what does that mean? I mean, mooses don't have the best vision at nighttime, because he wasn't seeing where that was going when he went back to the lobby that quick. Here it is. For sure, cannot forget it. Right. Michael. I love you. I don't know if you're still in here. I love you too. Soon enough, I won't be streaming in here anymore. Maybe you could be like a surprise guest or something.
They can get away with stealing. Number 5, teen girls swipe thousands in clothes, then try to outsmart the cops. 3 teen girls go on a bold but sloppy shoplifting spree, swiping $2,000 worth of clothes from multiple stores in one plaza. Their run ends when they're caught red-handed in the parking lot.
Nothing, we just headed back home.
Well, what just happened?
What?
You came running out of the store.
No, my babysitter had called me and said my daughter was having a fever.
Your daughter's having a fever?
Yeah.
Is this your car?
No, this is her phone.
Whose?
Her.
Yours? Do you have your license with you?
No, I don't have my.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me on the stream?
Step out there and we'll talk for a minute, okay?
Can you hear me now? Right, my fat ass face on the screen.
Do you have your ID with you?
No, but you can look me up in the system.
Okay. What's your date?
Tonight, just
Okay, yeah, I'm reading because I refreshed my tab.
All right. Well, while we investigate this, I'll have you step out here with me. You can just leave that there.
Shortly after, the girls are detained, and officers
How do
begin
I
searching their
promote you
vehicle
higher
and
than
personal
moderator?
belongings.
Oh, I'm not allowed to. You've been following me since August 30th, 2023.
Earlier, before we came here, when we was at our hotel.
Yeah,
but
your ring gotta have like
I hope I don't go to
thousands
jail
on
because
that
I don't
shit.
live with my baby.
I'm going to put you in handcuffs for a minute.
You've been on here for
Imagine.
2 years. That's fucking crazy.
As long as you're cool, probably not.
I didn't know because I just thought you didn't follow till like 2024 summertime, last summer, because that's when I actually started streaming a little bit on here. Damn. That like
And it
literally made
wasn't
my
two
day.
persons.
That's
It
a
was only one
long ass
person.
time.
It wasn't.
Right, 3 months it will be 2. I mean, it's still the same. That's crazy. Thank you for watching today. The only reason I stream. I hope you sleep well.
There's a whole purse full of stuff. So give me one second.
No.
Can we get a total for that, please? Can we get a receipt total for that stuff, please?
Right, because it almost pulled my tab over and launched 2 other separate windows, and it would took my webcam off. I almost did it again.
Oh, I need her check
I'll review one.
whenever she's done.
I should have won those other 2 games for you, though.
When you're
I
done
shouldn't
with
have
her,
sold.
will you check her?
I need to play more
So I don't have
creative.
no problem with you checking me. There's no problem with you
Okay.
checking me. I just want to get this over with.
All right, good night. I'm gonna just have this up for YouTube, so it might be up for a video if you want to react or watch anything, but it ain't much on here.
There's videos everywhere, both in his neighborhood and the neighborhood.
And then at
you were
some
in.
point this week, this vape is gonna go to like piss
With
juice.
4K video,
Anything.
everyone says you're in it. We know you're in it.
Meet 15-year-old Tylen Peaks, a teenage killer who has just realized that his crimes were caught on camera. And despite his lies,
We're telling you were involved in 2 aggravated robberies this morning, one of which resulted in the death of a grown man. I swear to God, I'm not about no murder.
Tylen is about to receive the biggest reality check of his life.
Young man, I've been a police officer for almost twice as long as you've been on this planet. You're not the first 15-year-old to sit in that blue chair and lie to me, and you're not going to be the last. So, y'all trying to send me to prison for murder?
Brandon Cooper, a 35-year-old from Beaver Creek, Ohio, was widely known in his community as a kind-hearted, hard-working man devoted to supporting his family. In the early morning hours of January 26, 2022, Brandon kissed his wife goodbye and stepped out for another late-night shift as a Lyft driver. But this time, Brandon never returned home. By 2 a.m., Dayton police were dispatched to the 1000 block of Ferguson Avenue after receiving an OnStar crash alert, an automatic system that notifies emergency services in the event of an accident. Simultaneously, a ShotSpotter alert was triggered in the same area, indicating that gunfire was detected. When first responders arrived, they found Brandon Cooper slumped in the driver's seat of a crashed car, unresponsive and bleeding. He had been shot twice in the back, and moments after, medics determined that Brandon was deceased. But something was off. The ride Brandon had accepted through Lyft was headed to 53 Cambridge Avenue, just a few blocks from where his car was found. And that raised a red flag. At 1 a.m., just an hour earlier, another Lyft driver
How
had
do you have
reported being
3.1
carjacked.
million
She
Twitch
said 4
followers?
individuals requested a ride to that same address, but once they got in the vehicle, they pulled a gun on her and stole her Nissan Rogue. This had taken place just 1 street away from Brandon's killing at St. Agnes Avenue. Very quickly, investigators realized the proximity and timing of the 2 crimes was not coincidental and began looking for the Nissan Rogue in hopes that it would lead them to the same group of people. By 3 a.m., they had a lead. The Nissan Rogue was tracked to a garage at a residence on Anna Street. Officers and SWAT teams surrounded the home, leading to the arrest of 4 suspects: 15-year-old Tylen Peaks, 15-year-old Detrayvon Mitchell, and 2 other unnamed teens who will be referred to as Ray and Ron. But why would 4 seemingly random teenagers want to kill a man trying to do nothing but provide for his family? To begin piecing it together, detectives brought in 2 of the teens, Tylen and Trayvon, for questioning. The following footage was provided by the Dayton Police Department, Ohio.
If I failed to introduce myself, I'm Detective Woody. I work for the Dayton Police Department in the homicide unit. My partner and I are investigating a couple things that happened tonight. And before we talk, I'm gonna make sure I get your information correct. Tell me how we came into contact with you today, Mr. Peaks. Right here.
I woke up and I just seen the SWAT team. Cause my friend woke me up. He said, "Bro, the SWAT team is outside." I said, "Why?" He said, "You don't know, bro. You gotta go outside." So that's when me and my friends went outside. I I just ended up here.
Okay, well, let's back way up then, because obviously the day that you start with the SWAT team. So what happened way before you woke up to the SWAT team?
I was chilling.
Where were you chilling at? Who were you there to chill with?
Me and Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray. So I just had pulled up, and then that's when I got sleepy, so I went to sleep.
When you say Ray, you're talking about, is that who you're talking about? Okay, so who lives at Anna?
My friend,
Who's your friend?
Trey.
Trey, do you know his whole name? Okay, so you and Ray pull up to Trey's house. What time do you get there?
9:30. I don't know, around like 9:30.
Okay, anybody else in the house besides you and Ray and Trey?
And my other friend,
Who's your other friend?
I got a call with him.
What? Sorry, I can't hear you.
My other friend, y'all, what's the name? Ray the house with whoever.
What's his name?
Ryan.
Ron. Anybody else in the home besides you, Ray, Trey, and Ron?
Trey, Ron, and his little brothers.
It is important to understand Tylen's story before moving any further. According to him, he and Ray went to Trayvon Mitchell's house around 9:30 p.m. Not long after, Ron joined them. Based on Tylen's statement, it may seem like the four of them were just spending the night hanging out. But when Trayvon was interviewed, he made it clear that their intentions that night were anything but innocent.
So tell me what happened tonight. How did you guys all get together?
They called me.
Say again.
They called me and asked me to come over.
We gonna go hit a lick? What was the plan?
I'm some girls.
So at some point you all leave, right? And you go get an Uber. Is that fair? Were you gonna go somewhere? Okay. What was the plan? Just take your car?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're telling the truth, man, and I appreciate that, okay? That's all we want. When they got there, was it a man or woman that came? Okay. You remember what kind of car it was? Is it the car that's in your garage?
Yeah.
Probably or yes? Okay. It's a Subaru. And it was you, Ray, Ty, and Ron. Fair? Okay. Was the plan to always to rob her? Or did somebody say something while you were driving, or how did it happen?
Just happened in plain sight.
Even beyond Trayvon's statements, detectives would find a great deal of incriminating evidence on his phone. On the night of the incident, Trayvon created a fake Lyft account under the name Jimmy Smith using a prepaid cell phone at 12:33 a.m. At 12:48 a.m., it requested its first ride from Oak Ridge Drive in Dayton. The driver who accepted was a woman driving a Nissan Rogue, the same vehicle that was later reported stolen. According to Lyft server data, that ride was headed to 53 Cambridge Avenue, but was suddenly canceled. Then, between 1 and 2 a.m., another ride request was made from the same fake account, for the same drop-off address. Both of these ride requests lined up with the timing of the carjacking and the murder. What Tylen doesn't realize is that detectives already know all of this, and his story is about to be put to the test.
Well, here, I'll be frank with you. I know you didn't go to sleep. That's not what happened. When Detective Roberts and I sit in this room, we expect you to be honest with us because we are honest with you.
I did want to sleep.
I'm not going to lie to you, so I prefer that you don't lie to me. When we ask you questions about what happened, know that we already know what happened. I'm seeing if you're going to be honest with me, and you haven't been so far. We're right at the beginning, so that's kind of silly, right? So we know that you and Ron and Trey and Ray caught a Lyft earlier today.
I didn't know it.
You did catch a Lyft.
So I don't got no proof I caught no Lyft. I was at the house, I went to sleep. I ain't catch no Lyft. I don't even got Lyft money to catch Lyft.
Well,
The plan's never to pay for it. The plan was to steal the car that's in the garage at the house where you were laying your head. Or where you say you were laying your head, but you weren't. Because the police were out there for like the last 6.5 hours screaming every outside. And you just said the address, hold on, you just said the address so you know exactly where you were. Probably because you heard it 150,000 times when the police were screaming it through a loudspeaker.
Nah, that's because that's not my first time going.
Okay, but you knew the police were out there for hours calling.
Sleep. I was.
You weren't asleep. You don't sleep through that.
Me, Ray, and Ron was in the basement.
Hmm.
He woke me up talking about, bro, the SWAT team police outside.
Yeah, well, why would the SWAT team be there?
I don't know. That's why I said I don't know.
Why would the SWAT team be there? I mean, work with us. How old are you?
15.
15. Okay. You wouldn't be the first 15-year-old to sit in that chair.
No.
And you wouldn't be the first 15-year-old to catch adult charges for this kind of thing, okay?
You guys don't charge me for it. Y'all.
We're gonna charge you for 2 counts of aggravated robbery and a count of aggravated murder. So if you wanna say I was asleep and you wanna go with that, then cool, we'll just take you across the hall, right? 2 tack nonsense crap that you guys have been doing for the last 6 months, you're gonna go to jail for murder, okay? You guys are all just tearing stuff up, you're all just acting like knuckleheads and doing all kinds of criminal nonsense. This isn't the first lift you guys have done. You've probably done 10 of them, okay? You're gonna go get locked up this morning for 2 counts of aggravated robbery. You took 2 cars this morning. And the second one resulted.
Do you understand?
What proof do y'all
Do you
got?
understand?
You got live video. Mm-hmm. So what you telling me? You're gonna see my IG name join.
Mm-hmm. The longer this goes on, the more the shadier it starts to look.
Meet 19-year-old Danquez Anderson, a teenage killer who just realized his victim live streamed his own murder. And now, Danquez can do nothing but sit back and watch as his life falls apart.
Y'all got live video? Y'all heard my name?
Yes, we got the live video.
Y'all heard my name on the video?
Would you stop? Would you just stop?
I'm trying to ask y'all a question. Did y'all hear my name?
I'm telling you, we don't have to tell you everything we got. You wouldn't be sitting your ass in this chair if we didn't have what we have right now. Guess what? You'll see it when you go to court and you're sitting there on trial for first-degree murder. That's when you'll see it.
Late into July 15th, 2020, 16-year-old Joshua Purcell was on his way to confront Danquez Anderson and his family, as many of his friends had done in the past. But this time he decided he was brave enough to live stream his actions on his Instagram profile. What he did not know was that Danquez was watching and would soon confront him close to the parking lot of Bethel AME Church. This is where the live stream quickly went from capturing a neighborhood feud to a murder scene, as Danquez opened fire on Joshua. Within minutes, he had been shot a total of 4 times, and by the time first responders arrived, Joshua was dead. Now the biggest challenge was to figure out whether this was self-defense or murder. On the surface, the live stream may have made it seem like the answer was obvious, but this was far from the situation at hand. For all detectives knew, Joshua could have been the one to pull a gun first, as the live stream only captured the audio of an argument followed by gunshots. They needed to know more about Danquez's intentions and the muddled history between him and Joshua. Consequently, he was called for an interview several times, but the most notable one would be on March 24th, 2021, the footage of which has been provided to us by the Tallahassee Police Department, Florida.
I know if I go back and ask you what were you doing on July 15th of 2020, you're not going to know, because I wouldn't know what I was doing unless there's a big event that happened that day. And then that it would be clear to me. So I remember, because I got called to the scene, so I remember pretty much everything that I did that night. So knowing that that was a big event, if we can start from, did you go to school that day? Well, that was summertime, right? Yeah. So were you doing football practice? Were you doing anything else that day?
No, I was at Forte House.
You was at where?
I said I was at Forte. I was in Almanzo?
Yeah.
I was at Forte House.
Okay, so you're at Fortre's house. And that's
on the game.
Yep. Okay. So about what time did you get to Fortre's house? Like, did you spend the night there the night before?
I think I was already at Forte House.
Yeah.
I always be over there.
Okay. Like, had you been there? Were you there? Did you get there when it was still daylight, or were you there at lunchtime? Just kind of trying to figure out when you got to Fortre's house.
I got to Forte House. It was daylight. Or either if it wasn't daylight, I was already there.
Okay.
I was already there, and then it just went up to the next day.
Okay. So we don't exactly recall when you got to Fortre's house, but you were at Fortre's.
Yeah.
Okay. right. So what's the relationship like, Trey? He's just some dude that y'all hooked up with, you and your brothers, or what?
I knew for Trey, like, he was always look out, make sure we out of trouble, make sure we go to school, get us what we need and shit, like, we'll make sure we straight.
Gotcha. Right. So at what point during the night did you become aware of the incident that had happened close to your house, the shooting and all that?
It was like, cause I was asleep, it happened, boom, I guess it happened. Then like, after that, I was like, where you at? No, it happened. My brother was like, where you at? I guess he heard a shot like close by the crib. He probably didn't know who that was, so he probably like, where you at? Then I'm at Fort Trey House, what up? Then he asked me, he hear the shot, cause it's like, you ain't gonna hear him though. If you wasn't AP, you ain't finna hear no, you ain't finna hear no. Yeah. I'm like, nah, I ain't hear no. So I guess somebody had got shot. But he asked me where I was at Fort Trey House though.
Did he tell you where he was at the time? Okay.
But then y'all had his phone, right?
Yeah.
Y'all could, right.
The individual that Danquez refers to here is his brother, Daniel Anderson, not to be confused with his other brother, Danny Anderson. Both of them initially tried to cover for Danquez, saying that he was genuinely at his friend's house, but later admitted that this was not the truth. Rather, Danquez was at his own home watching the live stream. This was also corroborated by Danquez's mother, Stephanie Leland. But on the other hand, Daniel did make a welfare call to Danquez, which makes it difficult to know for sure where he was that night. For now, he is likely using this call as a basis to place himself as far away from the crime as possible. And things are about to get even more confusing once Danquez is asked about the shooting itself.
So, all right. So, at what point did you become aware of kind of what had occurred? Because there was an Instagram Live that was out.
Well, after that happened, everybody posted it, like make sure your people down the street at the church. Somebody had posted it, and I had a screenshot, and I reposted it. So I'm like, make sure y'all people straight. They said a lot of police over there about like Bethel and like I think that's about Bethel and Fanny Guards, a whole bunch of police over there. Like, everybody was over there. Somebody had and got shot. It was all on Instagram though. Like after that, I hadn't.
All right, so you saw the post on Insta. What's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram, Mr. Getty himself.
Okay, so MR Getty.
MR dot. GETTYHIMSEL.
Alright. At what point did you become aware that I guess that your mom had kind of received death threats that night?
That night?
Yeah.
That night?
Yeah.
Same night that happened?
Yeah.
I ain't never known like that.
Yeah. It was enough that there was enough happened that night, kind of people coming on strong against her, thinking that Getty Mob, her son,
Woman had told me about somebody.
She took little Danny and they went to your sister's house because they were scared to be at the house. So you didn't hear nothing about that night? Okay. All right. So
I ain't even talked to my mom that night. But I ain't even had no phone then.
So earlier that day, all right, we've got pretty decent information that you and Jameek were together earlier that day. You remember seeing Jameek that day?
Jameek?
Yeah.
No. I just saying somebody fight. I'm trying to hear about it. Somebody fight. Somebody had a fight a couple hours before.
Had you been with Jameek that day? Okay. Okay, and somebody, I'm assuming your brother or your mother, has already mentioned to you that we had questions about whether or not you had gotten into a fight with Jalen and his people, Jalen and James, maybe.
In fact, I probably raking the yard somewhere.
Where was you been raking the yard at?
No, I just been sarcastic, but I know I ain't gonna find nobody though. I just been sarcastic, don't be raking up the yard.
I gotcha, but so that's kind of what we're looking at. So if there was an altercation between you, if these guys jumped Jameek, and we've already had people tell us that happened. Some of the people involved in that incident have already told us that happened. So I'm asking for kind of your take on that situation. But you're telling me that there was these guys didn't jump you.
No, anybody jumped me. Ain't nobody touched me that day. I ain't get hit up that day on nothing.
Okay.
The individuals that the detective just mentioned were Danquez's friends, all of whom had clear rivalries against Joshua and his affiliates. This was because of a particular incident that occurred on June 12, 2020, just a month before Joshua's death. Knowledge Gibson, one of Joshua's good friends, had broken into the Anderson household where he held a gun to the head of Danquez's mother, Stephanie. According to a police affidavit, Knowledge repeatedly requested Danquez's younger brother, Daniel Anderson, to be lured into the household because of a personal feud. Fortunately, officers had arrived before anyone was seriously injured, but this was the major reason why animosity developed between Danquez and Joshua, as they were part of two opposing groups, ultimately leading to what happened on the live stream.
I know that y'all got beef with Knowledge. I know that Knowledge has got beef with y'all. Knowledge gets locked up after what he did, which is he came into your house and he held a gun to your mama's head. And now these people that are tight with Knowledge are on live saying, we're coming to your house. We're bringing fire. We're going to fuck some shit up. We know where you live. If I was one of Miss Stephanie's sons and I saw that on live, I would not let those people come in my house because they have already made their intentions clear. They are going to hurt Daniel. They're going to hurt me if I'm in the house. They're going to hurt Stephanie. They're going to hurt my little brother Daniel. We cannot let this happen again because we know what they did the last time. The last time Knowledge came in with a gun and held it to your mama's head. If I don't get on Facebook, okay, but let's just say that I'm in my house and somebody is walking down the street and they start yelling threats. I'm coming to your house. I'm going to kill your wife and your kids. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm not letting them come to the front door either. I'm going out there to where they are. I'm not going to let them close to my house. I'm not going to let them get my wife. I'm not going to let them get my kids. Okay? They made their intentions clear. They're going to hurt my family. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to keep them from doing that by any means necessary. Okay? Whatever force they present, I'm going to return it right back at them. Okay? Because I'm justified in doing so. So that's what I'm here to ask you straight up. Did you or one of your brothers have to use some type of justifiable force to keep these people from coming to your house and doing what they said they were going to do and what they'd already done one time before? That's what I want to know before we go any further. Okay?
Considering this story with Gibson and that Joshua clearly wanted to hurt the Anderson family, an incident like this could be chalked down to self-defense. However, a ballistic analysis of the crime scene presented otherwise. A total of 4 gunshot wounds were present on Joshua's body, 2 on his head, 1 on his shoulder, and 1 on his lower back. A medical examiner discovered that almost all 4 of these wounds were consistent with being fired in an execution style, which meant that Danquez would have been standing over Joshua while he was in a prone position. Such a scenario would mean that the incident no longer classifies as self-defense, and rather as murder, as Danquez would not have been defending himself from anything at that point. Clearly, this is a very nuanced situation, and so far Danquez has tried his best to stay quiet about it. But with the kind of evidence this detective has, this wouldn't be the case for long.
Only know who was going live. Only know nobody on live till y'all say somebody on live, somebody this and that.
Well, who else has access to your Instagram where they have your password and everything else you have?
Nobody my password.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gay Mob himself joins the live.
That's wild.
It is wild.
And disrespectful because I ain't done nobody live.
Okay. So that's the question I got for you. Is Mom's given some indication that you might not have been at Fort Trace House. Insta looks like Mr. Getty Mob himself is joining the live. So your mom is saying that. Instagram is saying that you logged on. And she's watching the live and the comments were going out. Okay. So that's the evidence we have. You're telling me it wasn't you.
What I said on them.
Huh?
I said something.
I can't remember. I have to ask Sherry. This case 8 months old. She knows it like the back of her hand. I mean, she can show it to you.
But the only room me done. Nobody allowed only room me saying none of nobody.
Okay, so that's the question I would have for you is who would have your phone? Who would have your device? Who would have your password that could get in your Instagram and join live like that? And you're telling me nobody.
It can be anybody.
No. And all the beef with knowledge that you and your families had, okay, we're being told that there was a fight. You're saying it didn't happen, that's fine. We're also told there was a fight that day, all right? This guy is on Facebook Live calling out you, your brother, your family, and saying he's coming to your house. As he's stepping through the cut 300 foot from your house is when the incident goes down and shots are fired. Who else would it be? Somebody random just happened to be walking along and says, I'm gonna rob this guy as he's doing a Facebook Live with his two friends behind him. Random about how he's gonna go kill the Andersons, you know what I mean? So
I don't tell who he'll be with. Cause he's from the other side of town. He's from the other side of town, he way over here.
that will be the most random thing in the entire freaking world. Okay? So you can see, if you're telling me it's not you, then that's fine. Hold on to that. Don't take offense that I say that the evidence would point towards the Anderson brothers. Okay? As being
I'm not saying the whole city been, oh, get them all. It was
sure.
It was him, or it was him, or it was him. Everybody's saying it, but
because they see the same things that we saw. It's just we see even more evidence. I mean, we're taking into account video footage, cell phone evidence, we're taking witness statements, we're taking DNA evidence, ballistic evidence, all this stuff we're combining. So what I'm telling you is we've got all these small pieces of evidence, and all it's going to take is for this kid, the other one, or somebody else that knows about this to come in and say, this is who did it. And one of the two people that was there is close to breaking. The other one, next time he gets hooked up and put in the back of a police car, what's he going to say? I can solve a murder. And he's going to put his spin on it. Not y'all's spin. Okay, he's going to put his spin on it. But he's going to tell us who pulled the trigger because it's beneficial for him. The other kid wants to do what's right because he's eating his heart up. It's ripping his soul out. The other one, he's going to do it to protect himself next time he gets arrested. He's going to give it up. No doubt. So one way or the other, one of those two dudes in the very near future is going to say who pulled the trigger. All right. One of them is going to put his own spin on it. The other one is like, yeah, that's where we're at. And all it's going to take is it's going to be that one eyewitness or that one witness that knows what happened to come forward and put a name in front of us, put a face in front of us. And then we've got all this evidence pointing towards the Andersons. That one little thing is going to be all it takes, okay, to lock somebody up. And because nobody from, and I'm just going to say the other side because you're saying it wasn't you, nobody from the other side is stepping forward and saying, you know what, yeah, these guys were coming to our house. They already threatened us one time before, held a gun to mama's head. They're on live talking about what they're going to do to us when they get there. And we see them, and they're actually coming through the cut towards our house. So yeah, we had to do something. We had to do something right then before they hurt us, before they hurt mama, before they hurt little Danny. You see what I'm saying? Nobody from your side is saying that. It's coming forward and saying, yeah, I had no other choice, So is that justifiable? Yeah, could be.
The two witnesses that the officer just mentioned were Joshua's friends who were with him on the live stream, and their testimonies were crucial in piecing together what happened leading up to the killing, which is as follows. Hours before the live stream, the two friends were attacked by Danquez. These two then went to Joshua to seek help, who was enraged after hearing about the assault and consequently planned to head to the Anderson residence to get revenge. Initially, they had armed themselves with a firearm, but Joshua repeatedly expressed that he did not wish to use it and would rather fight physically. They would then cross the parking lot of Bethel AME Church to get to Danquez's house. It was here that Danquez ambushed Joshua and killed him, while the two friends were lucky enough to escape. And knowing that all of this was captured live, Danquez will slowly begin to realize the kind of situation he has landed himself in.
Y'all got a live video, y'all gonna see me, y'all gonna see Mr. himself at the joint. Y'all gonna see that on God, y'all gonna see that. That's what they say when you join somebody live.
Yeah, it says that. It says Mr. Getty himself has joined. It says that. You were on the live.
So say
your brother says, little Danny says that you were home on Tuskegee, that y'all were on the live. Y'all watched it. Y'all saw these guys come into your house talking about all the things we've been talking about, what they were going to do to y'all. It's you and little Danny there. Okay? Little Danny's in there crying, saying didn't have no choice. They was coming to get us.
I know I was.
Yeah, you were at Tuskegee.
Y'all can prove me that I was at Hotel House.
Brother, I don't need to prove it to you. I told you this coming in, and you think I'm lying to you. There's some white 40-something-year-old cop that don't care. I don't want you to go down in burning flames for this and not graduate this year and not go and get your trade school degree, learn how to weld and make all kinds of money. I don't want that to happen. Okay? I've told you everything about, you saw that live. You don't need me to explain to you what was on the live. You know that that guy and his friends were coming to do business.
On nobody Instagram live. I wasn't on nobody live.
So Danny is lying, or am I lying?
If you see Mr. Get himself doing somebody live, you gotta show me that, because I didn't join nobody live. I don't even follow these people. I was like, what? Ain't no way you see me join that live.
Do you not see the olive branch that we've been offering you and your brothers all day long? That olive branch being these people were coming to hurt you, so you had to do something that was justifiable? Do you not
I know what
see
you're
that?
talking about. I know what you're talking about. I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I don't know what y'all talking about. I understand what you're saying. You're saying like, oh, somebody come to your house, do something to y'all, y'all gotta defend yourself.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Self-defense. I know what you're talking about.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
We're not trying to hard time you. We're not trying to say that you did some premeditated murder because you had a beef with these people. These people had a beef with y'all, a serious beef. You know? Knowledge don't come to your house one time. Now knowledge's friends coming to your house a second time. Oh, why? Why are they coming to the house? I'll tell you why they're coming to the house. Because Knowledge got locked up for what he did to your mama. And they got to get retaliation for Knowledge so they can prove that they're hard. You know? And all that other junk, all that other shit they're talking. That's why they're coming there to the house. And they're gonna do what Knowledge did. Except this time they're talking about bringing fire. They're talking about hurting people. They're talking about everything else.
We gonna move. They ain't gonna know where we at. I was gonna call y'all. That's what we got y'all for.
For whatever reason, and it's probably because you didn't think there was enough time. And hey, guess what? You might have been right. There wasn't enough time.
What?
That you had to go out there and take care of it. You had to protect Danny. You had to protect the house. You had to protect your mama. And anybody else would have got caught up in that. So you stepped up because Daniel wasn't there. You was the only one.
Shortly after this conversation, the detectives leave to get another statement from Danquez's brother, Danny. This would prove to be the most important testimony in this case, as Danny gives a full recollection of what happened. Allegedly, both he and Danquez were at their house when Danny noticed the live stream from Joshua. Soon, he shared it with Danquez, who immediately left the house saying he was going to protect his family when he heard Joshua reference being armed. After he left, Joshua was killed and Danquez did not return home until the next day. This leads investigators to two important conclusions. One, Danquez lied to them about being at his friend Trey's house, and they now have undeniable proof of that. Two, if he really stated that he was going to protect his family and actively sought out Joshua, this would mean there was intent to kill or harm. This certainly does not help Danquez's story of self-defense, as two detectives return to confront him with these new findings.
The reason that I just went out there is because Danny was sitting there with your mom. Just opened up a whole lot more. All right?
For one?
No, I said he opened up a whole lot more. You and Danny and Daniel, even after this happened, y'all talked about it. And y'all were going to tell the truth about what happened because you realized that these guys were coming over there to do harm.
Last minute, y'all got scared. Scared of what?
Scared that you're gonna get in trouble for something. And that's what you're scared of now.
How you get in trouble for something you didn't do?
Brother, we are way past that. If you want, I promise you, if you want, we can get up out of this interview room right now. And you're gonna get charged. Okay? That's not a threat. I'm just telling you that everything that your brother has told us and everything that we know, okay? I don't need to go over it again, okay? But everything that Danny tells us is backed up, all right, by evidence we already have. Starting with you being locked on. Starting with us knowing that you're not at Fort Trey's house when this happens. Okay? Certain details that he gave about what you told him occurred. I'm not going to tell you what those details are because I want you to tell me. And that's not me trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Certain details that Danny gave about things that you told him occurred, we know to be true.
What did I do?
Here's what he
You
said.
shot somebody.
You
That's what
shot
you
and
did.
killed somebody. You shot and killed somebody. Plain and simple. Your options are tell us what happened, because we've seen the live. We can't claim self-defense for you. Okay? Or you want to go down the first-degree murder route and spend the rest of your life in prison. Those are your two options. But you're not helping yourself because you think you're in here trying to be hard and you think you can deny it. You think you can deny it, but you can't.
But then I'm trying to be hard.
It's not hard. I know it's not. I know that you're tore up and I know that you're scared. It's not necessarily you trying to be hard. It comes off that way. But I know from talking to you that you're scared and that you're tore up about what you had to do. All right? You're lying to us now. You were not at Fort Trey's house. You weren't at Fort Trey's house and you were watching the live. Okay? We can start right there. You've been lying to me about that forever. It's starting to make me feel like I'm not very good at my job and that hurts my feelings. And please don't hurt my feelings. And don't insult my intelligence by continuing to lie to me and tell me that you're at Fort Trey's house. I've already told you, Fort Trey has got another guy over at his house and he don't care. He don't care about you anymore.
You think I care for Jake about me?
I don't know. Probably not.
You should
All
care
I'm saying is
if your only alibi.
all I'm saying is he's not alibying you.
No, he's trying to make.
He's not alibying you. That's the point.
Your brother's not alibying either. He's saying that you were there in the house.
You can clearly see Danquez begin to contemplate telling detectives everything. For now, he only needs one final push to make him go over the edge. What Danquez doesn't anticipate, however, is that this push wouldn't come as cold, hard evidence, but in the form of a person.
You can have a seat. That's fine.
This is Danquez's mother, Stephanie, who has just been informed of the situation surrounding Danquez.
These people already know. When they found out, I do not know. They ain't telling me. Okay, on the video, they seen the threats. They said we finna come do whatever. We got guns coming to hurt, whatever at 5. Okay, that's my address. If you was going to defend yourself, us, or whoever, they can look at it that way, or they can look at it as when y'all seen them on the video saying what they was going to do. Why y'all ain't tell y'all mama for y'all mama to get the police on the scene? But the lady that just walked me down to smoke a cigarette, she said, "Ma'am, how fast things was moving." She said we probably wouldn't have made it there on time.
Can you tell him what Danny said? Because I don't think he trusts what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Who's on?
He was saying that when he seen Ooh was saying when the live video, because she told Ooh that we watched the live video. She said, "Ooh, I seen y'all on there watching the live video, and when y'all seen it and they said they was gonna do this and do that, and they was asking Ooh, what did your brother do then?" They was asking him questions, and Ooh was telling it that I seen my brother leave. I didn't see my brother leave with no gun, but I seen my brother leave, and he was saying something about did he go to AP? She was asking him, did he go to AP or did he go down the road? I mean, like, I'm trying to find out, and I don't even know.
I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
And my thing is, Ben, I'm thinking you was in the AP.
No. That you brought Davey. But didn't Danny tell us that he showed the live?
Yes, they did the live.
He showed the live to him, and then
About
he
the
left
boys
saying he's
saying
going
what
to
they
defend
gonna do.
himself. He's going to go defend them.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't believe us that Danny told us that. He doesn't believe us that Danny told us that. He went down there and defended them, and he shot them.
Yeah. Me and Ood in the same room.
Yeah. I told him that.
But my thing is,
He's not wanting to claim his own self-defense, is what it is.
bitter. My thing is, as a being a mother and as a being a mama and a woman, if I wasn't even your mama, when them people said that, you knew if y'all would have brought that to my attention, I would have had the police find out. You knew it. Now tell them that you know if we would have showed out on that video, y'all, what? Every officer on the force would have been over there.
Here's the thing: is your brother sitting in a room, Danny sitting in a room with your mama, said that Dan Quest wasn't at Fort Trey's house. Is that not what he said? Is that not what he said? Danny said that Dan Quest was home, right? He wasn't. Dan Quest is saying, I wasn't home, I was at Fort Trey's house. Fort Trey's house.
Who trying to tell me that you was in the room? I say, I ain't seen my baby here.
Exactly.
I say, I did not see him
Well,
here.
first off, you were sitting in your room.
Yeah.
We're not worried about what you saw. Did Danny tell us that he was home?
Yeah, Danny said that in the other room. He said that, and I say, ooh, I ain't see my baby, and I did not say that. I said,
Yeah,
I
we're
ain't
not worried
see
about
my
what you
baby.
saw. We're worried about what Danny saw because you didn't know
Yeah.
anything about this until Danny sat
Until
there
it
and
was
said it.
over, really. You know, you didn't know any of this was going on.
No.
And
to find out all this, man,
and
this shit gonna run me crazy.
Danny says I showed Dan Quez the live.
The live video.
Went in there and woke him up, showed him the live. And he's saying, no, he didn't show me any live. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. I was with Fort Trey.
I ain't see.
We're not asking
So,
what you,
the-
he doesn't believe us that Danny told us this stuff, so.
Yeah, that's what my son said. But me personally, I'm the type of person, I ain't finna lie, not even for my mama.
Oh, I know.
I
If they
didn't
listen,
see
if they'd have come to
my
you,
baby there.
Okay.
if they'd have come to you, I know you would have called the
Yeah.
police. I know that you would have, and he knows that you would have too.
So do you think
They didn't
Danny's
come to you.
lying, saying that he went down there to defend him?
I don't know about that issue right
No,
now.
do you think Danny would lie and try to say his brother went down to defend them?
Well, I think Danny
He's
was
trying
lying.
to say that Danny would lie and point at his brother as a shooter to defend you guys.
No, I won't think he would lie, but I think, if anything, he would, try to save him. So I think that's the truth, what he's saying or whatever, but I ain't see my baby there.
Stephanie is likely not trying to defend Danquez here, but rather genuinely confused about whether he was home. The truth is that Danquez was at home, as supported by statements from both Danny and Daniel, as the detective will explain.
The only thing that we're asking you at this point is to stop lying to us about being at Fort Trez's house. Stop lying to us about watching the live, because Danny said you watched the live. He said you were at home, okay? Danny believes that they were coming to do harm. I'm telling you that I'm watching the video, and they look like they're coming to do some harm. All right, did you watch the video?
I haven't shown you.
Okay, when you watch the video, you're going to say, oh, those guys are coming to do some harm. You don't need to see the video because you've already seen it, bro. You've already seen it. That's the
I said
thing.
we're gonna show your mom when we
Yeah.
got there.
Danny, listen. Hey, Dan Quest, your brother Danny said that you already saw it.
Let me ask you this.
Go
If
ahead.
he go ahead and say that they was threatening me and they seen the guns or whatever, and I went down there and boom, bam, then what?
Listen. We're not going to put words into his mouth.
Mhm.
Okay, we have literally extended the olive branch as far as we can extend it and said that, the guys are making threatening comments. They're saying they're going to hurt people, just like I told you before. I'm assuming, because I wasn't in there, but I'm assuming that Danny said that it was threatening, right? And Danny said that he felt like it was something that, I don't know, justified or something like that. Only he can tell us what he felt if he was scared by what he saw. Only he can tell us exactly what he did step by step and whether or not he felt like that was his only choice. He's the only person that can tell us that.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't a case of, well, he just needs to admit to something that he didn't do and just say that he felt like he had to do it. The evidence is pointing at him. His own brother's pointing at him. I'm gonna assume that given everything that's happened here today, because it's just like Danny said, the three brothers got together and talked about this the next day, right? And they were saying, well, we just go to the police and tell them what happened, and then kind of chickened out at the last minute and got scared, right? So I would almost assume that if we went back to Daniel and said, this is what Danny said, this is what we know, this is what your mom says, that even Daniel's going to be like, yeah, I wasn't there, but that's what they told me happened. We talked about going to the police, but backed out at the last minute.
And I never knew what happened to this day here.
Yeah, I know. If you didn't know all this, you'd have called us and you'd have drug them all in here and said, tell them the truth.
I call about everything again.
So
you thought when that dude put that gun to my head, I was gonna go call y'all and then get me a gun and go shoot up?
I'm glad that you called. So I think that even Daniel's going to come in and he can at least say what they talked about after. This, you know, I'm kind of at the point right now where, and I think we all are, where it's just like we told you, this thing goes one of two ways. We got to go get over that hump as to he's going to have to start giving us some detail about what happened. And this is the thing, is he's been sitting here saying that I was at Fort Trey's house for so long and saying that I never saw the live video and I wasn't at home for so long. He's going to have to give details to prove that he was actually there.
And matter of fact, I thought this dude was already talked to the investigators that had to clear up that Quest was with him to his house.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
No. So
what you're trying to tell them that is
your own brother said you were home and you left after seeing the video to go defend you.
yeah, it's not.
That's what we're telling you.
And again, I'm not. I know that you're not trying to be hard. I know that you went through like
self-defense or first degree murder.
Yeah.
I'll tell y'all something I don't know, bro.
You better watch your mouth.
Yeah, he's okay doing look. Ain't doing
No, because with number one, when they came to the house, they told me that the video. Now see, I don't think not one time these people try to railroad you. What I think right now is they trying to see if you come out with that information and if it matches up to a self-defense thing.
Y'all already got information, but why y'all still asking me questions?
We can't claim self-defense for you. How many times have I told you that? You can only do that for yourself. Yeah, that's the other option.
Let's don't even worry about that right now, okay?
Y'all said that, but y'all
listen, that's a potential, okay? That's a potential because right now the only person saying that they think this is what we think from watching the videos don't necessarily matter as much as what y'all think from watching the video. Brother says that, you know, it was kind of a scary situation. They're making threats. And maybe Mama just needs to watch the video.
Can I see it?
You don't need to watch the video because you've already seen the video.
You keep telling me I see the video.
Yeah, I keep telling you that. So that's the thing.
Buddy, I have no fucking
not messing around with you. You know the video exists. You know you watched it.
I mean, look at you!
I'll give you that.
Y'all, so y'all.
Holy shit, you're ass, bro. You're fucking terrible.
What is that now?
That's my brother coming over. Y'all want my mom now.
You want Danny to come in? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that today. You know why I'm not gonna do it to Danny? Because Danny's broken up about what he had to say.
For the rest of the questioning, Danquez refuses to cooperate with investigators as their attempts to question him are only met with silence. But the detectives have one last tactic left. A tactic that will make Danquez do a complete 180 and give a full confession.
All right, I need you to come over here. Let's see.
Fucking Nintendo drive, bitch. Fuck. See you later, nigga.
Nope.
See you later, nigga. Yeah, no!
You're not giving me any of your voice. I've been trying to help you up in here this whole time.
I'm arrested?
Right now, you are being detained under suspicion of homicide.
I gotta talk to the state.
I gotta call the state attorney.
Buddy, I have no fucking match. You're being a little pussy.
I was trying to get your statement before I did this.
Well, you just went outside to talk to my mom.
I mean, look at you!
Yeah, your mom's leaving.
What?
Are you willing? Are you ready to talk
Your ass, bro. You're
and tell
fucking
the truth about what happened? So I can, when I make that call, I can actually argue for self-defense or not? I agree.
All right, you might want to scoot your butt forward a little bit.
Thank you, man. Come on, bro. So what? So
I'm
now
trying to help you from hurting your hands. Scoot your butt
you trying to ask for something real quick. So keep saying what's gonna happen next, bro.
I'm about to go call the state attorney right now and tell them everything we got.
Then what's gonna happen?
And then they'll decide on what charges to charge you with, without a statement from you.
Oh, yeah, a statement.
Well, yeah, without.
What that mean?
That means what they say is what's gonna happen. I was trying to get a statement from you to tell them.
Let's go and call them.
So why you leaving, dude?
I'm going to call the state attorney's office.
Listen.
What? You gonna talk? You gonna actually talk with the truth this time?
You just took my mama out there to go tell her that, and you gonna come in here with this?
Yeah.
I just told your mom exactly what's happening, and she's done. She's going home. She has asked us to drive her home. I don't know what else you want, man. They give you every chance in the world to talk to them.
Why you still trying to leave?
Are you ready to talk? I'll go get my folder and I'll come right back if you're ready to talk.
Y'all just listen, bro.
Listen to what? I'll sit down for 5 minutes. If you ain't started talking the truth, then I'm going to make that phone call. I was trying not to. How long did it take? How long did it take before I put that on you? Because I'm trying to get the truth out of you. That's what I'm trying to not happen.
Y'all so much self-defense, bro. I didn't know that self-defense, bro. I'm gonna have to go in there and sit and wait, bro.
No.
Y'all gonna take me straight to the county, bro.
So I'm sitting here, giving you 5 minutes before I walk out and go call the state attorney's office. If you start talking with the truth, I'll go call them and I'll have an actual statement and I can make the argument of self-defense for you.
So I'm not going to the county.
I don't know until I call the state attorney's office. Right now, you're being detained on suspicion of homicide.
Have you played Minecraft?
I don't know what you're on.
Are you going to talk and with the truth this time?
About it. It was famous.
Listen.
So I can make that argument for you, or not?
Start things off.
Listen.
I like all of us to say chicken jockey after I talk.
People to myself.
Did you intentionally go and try to kill somebody in cold blood because that's all you want to do is kill somebody and walk away? Okay.
Chicken jockey.
So what you did is you defended your house. A threat was coming to your house. What we call in law enforcement a credible threat was coming to your house. You knew they had fire. You knew that they've already come.
Exactly.
Someone in their friend group has already come to your house a month before and held a gun to your mom's head. You knew what they were coming to do.
It was a friend.
And you wanted to stop them before they got to your mom and your brother.
But you don't gotta arrest me though. You don't gotta arrest me.
Well then tell me the truth.
Immediately after this confrontation, Danquez requests some time alone. Clearly, putting him in handcuffs had pushed him to his psychological edge, and by the time another detective enters the room, he would be willing to start from the very beginning.
Without talking. Am I going home now?
I don't know. All right. At what point did you start seeing the video?
I started on the circle.
What were they doing, or could you tell where they were?
No, I can tell where they were, but
God, yeah, I can't watch, bro.
So who could you see in the video?
person that was going live. I know that's on my put this gun right here. Let me see that gun out that bad. Finna do this and shoot the house up and kill this and that and do all this. That's it.
Do you remember seeing a gun?
Not really.
Okay, what do you remember seeing when they were talking about that?
I think y'all got a lot, y'all see guns live?
Honestly, I don't remember if I see the gun, but I remember what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Do you remember what they were doing when he was saying that? Do you remember who was saying that?
I was just walking.
Yeah.
Just walking.
Okay. So he says, take this, and then what does he do?
They was doing without talking.
I mean, I remember him doing something when he says, take this. All right, what is he talking about?
Oh, it's gun.
Okay, what does he do with the gun?
I don't know. I don't know. Either had it in his hand. I don't know.
So when he says take this, can you tell where he's at? Okay, but you know that he's talking about a gun, you said. Okay. What did he say as far as what he was going to do and where he was going to go and stuff like that? Walk me through that.
Just me what he do and say.
What he was saying about where he was going and what he was going to do.
But he was like, I'm gonna go to 5. So I'm coming to I'm coming to the main house. Something like that, something this and that.
Okay. And is that your address?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how he knows where y'all live? Was that a surprise to you that he knew where you guys live?
I don't know, he probably knew from his mama. About everybody just, not everybody don't know who he live at, but it's just like, it's right there on Fresh Street.
All right, so he's saying he's going to come there, that he's going to fire off and stuff like that. He's talking about the guns. He says, here, take this. He's got 2 guys with him. Okay. Where are you at when you're seeing it?
In the house.
Okay. Where in the house? Okay. You share your room with anybody?
My brother.
Which brother?
My little brother.
Okay, so Danny, right? Which one of you noticed the video first?
My brother.
Okay, Danny did. Was he on his phone or a tablet or a computer? Or how did he see it? Okay. Did he start showing you the video, or did he tell you to pull it up, or how did that happen?
Nah, it was just like, just went off, and I guess my brother joined it.
Okay, so he starts watching it. Do you know at what point in that video he started seeing it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So he starts seeing it, he shows it to you. You remember that the 3 of them are walking, they're talking about coming to your house, giving your address. Did they say who they were coming to target?
They said, they're coming to the gang. They're like, oh, we're coming to the gang, we're coming to this and that.
Considering Danquez's horrible storytelling skills, this entire situation becomes difficult to visualize. However, that whiteboard isn't just a prop in this interrogation room, so follow along closely as this detective is about to quite literally paint the picture for us.
Let's see if I can find a marker real quick, because I'm a visual person. I don't know about you.
I'm going to the county tonight.
What's that?
I said I'm going to the county tonight.
I don't know. We're going to tell the state what we're talking about. That's going to be up to them. All right, so your house is right here. This is your road. This is a little cut that goes over to the church parking lot, right? All right, and I'll take you out of that so that you can show me, okay?
What is it, the road?
Yeah, like this is the road. This is the little cut. So there's like the trees over here, right? And then this is the parking lot. So like Orange Avenue is up here and Wanish is over here. Does that look right to you?
This the road to get down to the church.
Yep.
So we right here.
Yeah, so like, I know this isn't like to scale, you know, it's not like Google Maps. So let's say that the last house is right here. You know which house I'm talking about? And then this is all the woods. So when you first see them, where are you at? Like right by that gate, kind of?
I'm coming out the house, walking out the road. Trying to make sure I don't even get.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to make sure my people are straight.
The last time I took them
I just want to know if people are straight.
there was some kids that
When you say your people were straight, which people are you worried about?
we had to go back to that part.
My brother.
Okay, so they stayed in the house, right?
I had to tell them.
So when you went outside, what did you think you needed to do?
Check. Check the fence.
Okay, I hear you. So when you go out there, where are you at when you first see them? That's my question. Like, where are you standing? Are you still on the road? Are you by the gate? Are you in the parking lot?
Okay, you ready for
Where you at?
Yeah. I actually knew when I was pregnant with him that it was like a 50-50 chance that he would come out with a condition.
I'm like,
This condition called terrible, and which causes to
Motherfuckers ask me to be like, no, this is a.
yeah, come the road, then it was on like, I guess, shoot. I guess it was on shoot.
Okay, when you say he was coming up the road, which area was he in?
Coming up this, you said this the road, right? No, you said this the road.
Yep.
But it's like this the road. And then you got like little, it's like some of the rails shit to keep cars from like moving. Like you can go the way, you can go the way. Then this gonna be like through the church, through all that.
So are they in that little path?
Like,
Okay, and is that where you are or is that where they are?
yeah, no, like, I'm like, this my road. Like, you got a gray house, and you got a little pink house.
I know the last time I took him to
And there's, I think, one more house after that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I'm down there like, by the crib. I'm by the crib. No. One line.
Before watching any further, keep in mind the fact there was not only a pause between gunshots on the live stream, but also the sound of movement. This meant that Danquez likely chased down Joshua and his two friends, waiting until he could get closer to land a fatal shot.
Okay. So you come up, feet behind him. What are they doing?
Just looking like they got something just in the back.
In the back. Okay. You like behind them or?
They was behind my 10 feet. 15 feet behind.
Okay. But yeah.
Because I know they ain't too far. 15 feet ain't too far.
No, I agree. So you're saying, on the other hand, the two of them in the back, can you tell if they have any guns or anything? Like you see them.
I mean, if you outside walk, you're not gonna just do like this.
Okay.
If you're gonna do that, you might well just continue to get.
So was one of them or both of them doing that? That's what I'm asking you to explain.
Either one of them, or both of them. They were kind of far away.
Okay. So how many feet do you think you were?
Before I saw him?
Yeah.
You don't know how real that's. Because it only occurs when you let something.
Listen, you asked me how far I was from him when I seen him.
Mm-hmm. First time you saw him. In person, not online. Okay, from you to me? Okay, so that's maybe about 10, 15 feet too.
That's like, if I'm standing right here, like, say if you stand right here, and you meet, and then I'm trying. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
What you gonna do?
So what did he start doing? Tell me.
Like, turn up. I guess he was trying to do what he was trying to own up to what he was saying.
Okay. So you're saying trying to up it. Tell me what you mean by that, because I think I know what you mean.
I'm not gonna lie, he's not it's good.
Okay.
I can they're unhealthy,
Did you think he was trying to fight you physically? Did you think he was trying to do something else? Okay, tell me what you thought and why you thought that. This is the important part, okay?
Are those actually edibles now? Goso gummies.
I thought definitely just gonna kill. Definitely gonna kill.
Are Goso gummies?
I know you talked about them having guns, saying they're gonna kill you. When you see him physically, what is he
So
doing?
you guys not troll?
I just told you. He was on.
Okay, so then what you did with him fiddling around by his pants pocket?
I don't want to say I
I'm
seen
not
him.
gonna lie, these actually makes sense.
But what you doing?
I can tell that they're unhealthy.
Sit down. Because I'm trying to help you express what you're trying to say, okay? All right, so one of his hands you're saying is down here,
Are those
right?
actually edibles, bro?
Okay. What were you concerned about being right there?
A gun.
Okay.
Are
What did you think he was doing when he put one of his hands down there?
Get a gun, try to put it on the shoot.
Okay. And what made you think that? What happened before this that made you think that could happen?
Back before that, it was the live video. He was saying, "Oh, once I come and do this, and do this, and do that."
Okay.
That's what had me feeling like that. I had me feeling like we got like self-defense, bro. Check.
Okay. So, and before saying, we've got guns, we're gonna come to your house, we're gonna shoot it up and all that. And then when you see him 10 to 15 feet away, you see his hand down by his side and you're scared that he's going to get a gun is what I'm hearing you saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then what did you do?
It was like, I think they had a book bag. I think they had a book bag with guns in it.
That he's about to pull out a gun. What did you do? And why?
Protecting myself, fear for my life.
How did you protect yourself? And why did you feel like that was necessary for what he was doing? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. It was that happened because that could happen to me. That could have been me dead.
Okay. So, what did you do? I can't put that in your mouth. Did you fist fight him?
No, I ain't fist fight.
So tell me what happened, and tell me why you believe that that was necessary so that you would not end up dead. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go through that.
He was already talking about, he was already on the live, talking about this and that.
Dude, fuck no.
Do that.
Okay. He's saying he's gonna come to your house, he's saying he's gonna shoot it up, and then you go outside of your house and he is there, and you see him reach, like he may be going for a gun, okay? All right, this is the hard part, I know this is the hard part, okay, and I'm trying to be helpful, okay? But this is part of where I can't put these words into your mouth, okay? So you know that he may have a gun and that he has already declared, I'm coming to kill you guys, okay? I understand that part of it, okay? We do have to talk about your part of it.
I knew something was
to get
up.
past
I
this,
could
okay?
feel that shit in my tire, bro.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. What did you do?
Protecting myself.
Up to this point, detectives have been able to sympathize with Danquez's desire to protect his family. But protection does not mean executing a teenager while standing over him. So why did Danquez do this, even when there was no immediate threat to him anymore? This is the most crucial question of this investigation, one that the detective here is determined to answer.
So I know that we talked a little bit about the casings.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever heard anything about how we can look at casings and figure out which guns they come from and stuff like that?
And it's on top.
Yeah, it's from the top. So like the firing gun. It's the cartridge casing, and that tells us, you know, which gun it came from, because there's like teeny tiny millimeters,
Yeah, that's
and each one is different, so it's kind of like a fingerprint. But obviously in this one we see that all the cartridge casings were fired from the same gun. So we can tell that. I don't remember how many there were, but when I was out there, there were cartridge casings.
That's how many cases there was?
I don't remember how many there were. I remember there were a couple along here. And there are several right there.
So he's telling me what are 3 shots?
It was more than 3 shots, but here's the thing. Like, I can ask an officer who's been involved in a shooting, how many times did you shoot? And say, 2 or 3. You may have shot 6 or 7. That's totally normal, okay? You're not gonna remember how many you shot, okay? I'm not trying to call you a liar about that or anything, okay?
Oh my freaking!
So, what I'm having a problem with
My God!
is that in the live video, you can
That is amazing. Let me make sure there's not like another one in there somehow. I mean, I doubt it, but I'm getting greedy now. But oh my gosh! Holy crap!
I can't see his hand, okay, but I believe you what you're saying, okay? The video faces forward, and the only part that you can't really see, and I'll use yours, okay, if this is the cut leading up to it, is like where the trees are. He starts getting shot at way over here. And that's maybe 45, 60 feet away from where the cut is. Alright. In the
Damn.
You've seen him come out of a gun before, right? Come out the right way. And we know that these shell cases, which tells me that these that you fired at him while he was running away are the same here. And we hear those shots on the live after he's already dead.
I don't like this.
So I know that at that point, you're not up on what's happening. I don't know how many it was. Okay. I just know that there's several. I think it was 3 standing over him. Okay. Help me understand that.
He's standing there? It was like, coming from home, coming from, he coming from me, coming from. He was on this was song, I got outside, boom.
Currently a 10-foot long, particularly like.
Because I missed. I don't even shooting to kill nobody, bro. I'm just like, don't come up here, because you trying to come up here.
But at the point, and I'm not saying that's not what you're doing, okay? Because I understand these, okay? And he got hit over here. That's when he fell down, okay? That's while he was still running. He got hit. He falls down. All right.
Could you go get
What I don't understand is why you're over him, shooting him while he's down. Help me understand that.
I don't know what to say. What thing we have? I wanted to make sure I can. You guys have to remove it or whatever.
3 shots. They want to let you fall. He said I was not. He said I shot him again when he was on the ground.
Yeah. Because you can hear the shots while he's already down. You see the casings right there by him. So here I can see what's happening is that he's running, you're chasing. Okay. And he falls.
No, once.
Dumbass.
He's facing. Once I see him, he can see me.
He's facing this way, and you're right here. You fire the first shot, he bolts that way. You're chasing him and shooting while he's running. And with one of those shots, he falls down to the ground. While he's down to the ground, I can say forensically, okay? Because the doctor can tell me where that bullet went in and what direction it went. And I've got those shell casings there on scene right next to him. Because remember, it comes out the gun, okay? It's going to be in the general area where it's shot from. That's how I can say you shot and chased, because those casings are running too. You see what I'm saying? And all these up here by him, and with him being shot on the ground, I know that he was shot while he was down. Why?
I thought he had a gun. I thought he was trying to kill me. I thought he was trying to kill. I thought he was trying to kill us.
But if he goes down, why not run this way? Why keep going? You see what I'm saying? But I don't understand. You know, I can understand a few shots while he's running away, but at the point that he's down, and he hasn't pulled a gun on you, he hasn't shot at you, I don't understand why you still think there's a threat there. If you put that into officer terms, right? Our expectations for our law enforcement officers, we wouldn't be okay with our cops doing that. Standing over somebody shooting them like that. There's no explanation for that part. These shots up here, I totally get. This here, I don't.
When the shot was off, I don't think nobody was hit. I don't think nobody was hit.
What do you mean?
Like, because they told me 3 shots that led up to that. I don't think like 3 shots there wasn't nobody hit.
But when it fell, it was obviously got hit.
I don't know. Maybe he could have tripped. Maybe he could have got hit. I don't know.
Okay, but he's already run away from you. He's not coming to your house at that point, right? He's running away from you, and he's down.
He was sitting on the toilet.
And I know that he didn't pull a gun on you. I know he didn't point a gun at you.
No.
I know he didn't shoot at you. Because we only have your casings there. So that's what I don't get. That's the only thing that I have heartache over.
She is not lying about how complicated and tragic this situation is. Even an official police affidavit states that Danquez's actions could have been justified as self-defense. However, his hyper-aggression was beyond what can be classified as such. Danquez did not contact law enforcement, walked 500 feet to get to Joshua in the church parking lot, and then chased him another 60 feet with a gun before executing him. In fact, even with the first shot, Joshua fell to the ground, yet Danquez shot him 3 more times to finish the job. This is why he was charged with second-degree homicide and possession of a firearm by a delinquent after this interview. Danquez went on to plead no contest to the murder and was sentenced to 15 years in prison and 10 years of probation on December 1st, 2023.
So I got near the old swing set.
Canada, America.
Do not enter.
And the Canadians shut it down, right?
Yeah, you still can jump it.
That's what, 20 grand to the cartel these days?
Roughly 500 people a week just for this segment.
That's all new, huh?
They're probably out there now.
The biggest uptick in crossings in history.
I just find it funny how we get New York City taxis to pick these guys up.
Oh, wow, this is post-apocalyptic. So how do you feel about it?
The truth no longer matters. It's who's fastest. And then the truth will come out eventually, but the truth will be a footnote to the page 9. There would be law enforcement here and people would illegally go to enter and they're like, can't you stop? I'm like, no, we don't have the laws to do that.
So just cat and mouse. Different than the Southern, much different feeling. Major, how far are we from the border right now?
Probably about 1.5 miles from the border.
Different than the Southern, much different feeling.
Yeah, no,
Or
it's
suppressions.
there's definitely
Green and cold.
huge contrast. It's not that cold. It's 64. It's nice. It's going to snow next week. It's definitely going to be a stark contrast to the Southwest. I mean, there's still same type of people, the good people that want to live their normal daily lives over there. But up here, the population is probably a little bit less. And so I think a lot of these people are worried about the idea that maybe they're going to be the target of this stuff.
And so what's great about the sheriff departments is that Customs and Border Protection won't speak on camera.
Yeah.
Police departments, I've gotten in with one in the last 4 years after a lot of trying.
Well, I think
they're not going to speak on camera.
They're at will. Everybody has to get approval to speak.
Not sheriffs.
That's the difference. The sheriff was elected by the people. He answers to the people.
So you think in Clinton County here, a lot of people don't know what's going on?
I think they're well versed with what's going on. They don't understand the totality of it. I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people in the state don't really understand. If you pose it, whether it's an immigration issue, a lot of people here don't know what's really going on. When you talk about the crime issue, a lot of people here really don't know what's going on.
Right.
You could ask people, like, how are things in Clinton County? They'll say it's great.
Totality is the best word for all of this, because the border story, which I've been on the southern border a bunch, there are a lot of moving parts. It's very complex. It's turned totally political, and each side takes its set of facts and uses them, right?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot to it, right?
Homer Simpson said it best. Facts are meaningless. They can be used to prove anything.
Oh, are we looking at Canada?
Canada's right there. If you look out in the middle of the water, you'll see a floating sign past that little tiny boat near the big one with a crane.
Yep.
That sign says, you're entering Canada.
So that boat going north is going into Canada right now.
Yep. And when you come south, if you look down to your right, you'll see that's the dock where they need to check in.
And does that system work pretty well?
I got to be honest. I believe any system that we have could be exploited. You know, if there's a will, there's a way. That's that constant cat and mouse between those that are breaking the law and those that are trying to enforce the law. So does the system work? Yeah, the system works because we're friendly with Canada, right? We love working with them. We have commerce with them. So it's not a adversarial border. It's not the DMZ where we're sitting here lockstep against a warring nation. And these are our friends. And so the system works great for the Canadian people and the U.S. people going back and forth. Does it mean it's not being exploited? No, it doesn't mean that. Of course it can be exploited. So right here, this is all New York. And this house right here with the concrete blocks, that's Canada.
Oh, wow.
And they put concrete blocks across there because people were driving through their yard and just running across the border. Stop right here.
Oh, this is fascinating.
I think so.
So here we are. We're looking at the border right here.
That is the border.
And so this house was fed up with the cars going through their property.
Well, I don't know if it was the house per se that was fed up with it, but the governments are.
So that right there is.
That's the fix. Because if there is a gator in there, that means it's trapped in there. There's no way for it to come out.
Can I step on it?
Too. I'm gonna be stuck.
You can. I'll go with you. I mean, we may cause an international incident, but.
All right. So since this is a 5,500 mile long border, and it's like farmer's field to road, that's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job, and the Border Patrol is absolutely outnumbered up here. They don't have enough staff to really do it. It's tough.
Yeah, and so people usually don't think of the Canadian border being an issue because it's not like Canadians are fleeing to America.
Exactly. That's what we were just talking about, right?
Right.
We get along with Canada. We love Canada.
Right. So the economic advantage, while there could be some for people, but we're somewhat in parity as far as economies. Like you can live a good life in Canada.
Yep.
We're south of the border. You're coming up from Honduras or Nicaragua.
Yep.
It's different. But from what I understand now, it's a lot of Indians and a lot of Mexicans that are getting tourist visas into Canada and then coming down,
they
right?
Easily just travel down. They get dropped off within a half mile of the border, and then they just got to go for it.
And the reason I'm up here is because the numbers have spiked this summer. This summer and last summer have been super busy, right?
They're pretty much roughly 500 people a week just for this sector.
Just put this in the trunk and I'm on my way.
That's a lot of people for a place with no infrastructure to handle it. A place where the Border Patrol basically doesn't have a lot of people on. They're relying a ton on technology and support from, law enforcement partners.
But you literally could hide in a cornfield.
They do.
And run across.
Yes, they do.
Like just hang out in the corn.
Yeah.
Look both ways. Okay, no cars coming.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people that are giving themselves up. Those people that want to come here, they want to get processed. They want to get a court date in 5 years or so. They absolutely will give themselves up. So those people are. You'll get a 911 call. We're dealing with that right now. Hey, I'm tired. Come get me. And so, the county here since June had close to 1,200 911 calls for people saying, oh, I'm in the woods. Come get me. And those people want to get picked up by Border Patrol. They want to get processed. The problem is there's people that don't. And that's the concern for us. There's groups of people that are low crawling through the fields, the people that are carrying things, the people that are smuggling the drugs and stuff back and forth. They don't want to get caught. And if you're coming into the country and you don't want to get caught, why?
Right. Okay. So yeah, I should have unpacked that better. How the system works now, if you walk over the border, say you're from India, you got a tourism visa to Canada, you fly into Montreal, you come down, you go over, you want Customs and Border Protection to get you.
Yes.
Because you get you claim asylum, whether that's legitimate or not. And then the courts are so backed up, that case is not going to be processed for years. You're technically legal to be in the United States.
A lot of them get released.
They get released into the U.S. And we're going to go into sort of the root of that, right? Because they're not hanging out here. They're going to New York City. Okay. Oh, that's the marker.
That is the marker.
We probably got some poison ivy here, right?
Probably.
Okay. That's hospital for me, so I'll show you from here. That's the marker. Canada, America. That's how you know. That's it.
Do not enter.
And so this wasn't a problem years ago because the policies were set up where you couldn't just fly into Canada, walk over and get asylum. Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. There's no issue with the Canadian people. So this was perfectly okay. We don't go into their cornfield. They don't come across. There's a court right there. There's a court right over there. and you just come through the right way. It was never an issue. Now people are exploiting the laws of Canada, coming from whatever country they want to infiltrate the U.S., and they exploit their laws, their way of doing it, and they take advantage of the border as it stands.
Okay, what nationalities are you seeing? We have Indian
right now,
and Mexican, right? The big ones?
Senegalese and Indians are the biggest group, and the Mexicans have actually kind of dropped off a little bit.
Okay.
But again, this only accounts for those that we know.
Okay, Senegalese, that's what, 20 grand to the cartel these days?
Yeah, I think so.
To pull that off?
Yeah.
When I was in the southern border, that was the going rate from West Africa at that time to make that work.
Yeah.
20 grand. So no one's getting in without a lot of money.
No, and here's the thing is, we understand there's some people fleeing these horrific events in their home country. We know that, right?
Yep.
We absolutely know that. We understand that. And again, it's America. We're supposed to accept those people and say, come to us. We get that. There's a right way and a wrong way. But there's some people that are coming down here that I wonder really what they're fleeing from, right? The clothing they wear, what they're doing, some of it doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem to be those that are distressed, and that's the part that makes us struggle as a community and a country is you've got the means to get from where you're going to Montreal, and then to get down here after paying off the coyotes or the cartels or whoever's doing it. Are you really fleeing something? And so that's the question that keeps coming up to some people. It's just wondering how it is you have the means to do that, but you're still in such distress that you have to come into the country this way.
Yes, sir. If you're up by the line road in Bay, we're going to have some blocks over there. We're just going to continue to the east of Bay and Line.
Border Patrol wants to be able to cover the border better. I think most Americans want them to cover the border better. They just need the resources to do that. It's a lot of land to cover. So, it can't just be all personnel, right? We don't have enough people to put somebody every 5 feet holding hands to make sure nobody comes across. That's unrealistic. But a combination of the technology and the personnel and the patrols, yeah, I think they can do a different job as long as their administration lets them.
Right. And I do want to drop some of the numbers because I did some research last night on the northern border. Northern border, 163,000 apprehensions this year so far. Last year, 2023, 189,000 apprehensions. 2022, 109,000 apprehensions. 2021, 27,000 apprehensions. So it's really just ticked up, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's no other way around it. The numbers speak for themselves, and you can spin it any way you want.
This is Customs Border. This is CBP's website and numbers on this. Southern border right now, this year, 1,926,000 apprehensions. And so that's where there's been physical contact or visual contact, right? But it's the gotaways that is the unknown number. Right?
Yeah, so that's the number of apprehensions.
Yeah.
That does not include the amount of times where there's been a group of suspected migrants come through and they fled, and then people did not chase them. This is not the amount of people where they've seen them, where they have intelligence or they have technology that states that there's people there and then they don't find them. Yeah, those people we can't account for. That's the biggest concern is, we had a huge amount of apprehensions, but the ever-present fear is those that we don't know who they are. There is evil people that are lurking. There's people that have intent to do harm to the U.S. and the citizens of the U.S., and they're going to find the easiest way in. And right now, this may be it. So we talk about this creation of the boogeyman where we're embellishing stories and trying to make it look worse and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's maybe something that people that don't want to admit that the boogeyman actually exists, because you can't vet who those people are. You don't know if they're families. You don't know if they're gang members. You don't know if they're foreign agents. You don't know who they are because they got away. That should make you a little nervous. That should make you wonder why it is they're doing that. Why are they trying so hard to avoid detection when these other people are giving themselves up? That should really make you give pause and say, okay, we should probably talk about that. It's not creating the boogeyman. It's talking about the reality. for the longest time, the northbound traffic, they would come up this way, and it got so bad to where the Canadians actually had to build a processing center on the other side right here.
Okay, so is this active right now?
No, they took down all their buildings because they changed their laws, and I'm not entirely sure how they did, but they changed their laws to basically state that you're going to be arrested if you come across.
So when was this?
This would have been
active
closed down
here?
last probably, I think, year and a half.
Okay.
2 years.
There you go. So they'd come down the road here in Canada.
They would come here to go to here.
They're going from America to the.
This was, yes. And that's where they set this up. They had a whole encampment
Oh.
here. Yeah.
So there is some of that going on too.
This was huge a couple years ago. Yeah.
Going from the U.S. to Canada.
Yep. And the difference is Canadian officials, they can actually stop you from entering America. They have a law against that. Whereas the Americans, we don't have a law that allows us to stop people from trying to illegally enter Canada.
Okay.
So the Canadians, their border officials were quite upset with that because there would be law enforcement here occasionally and people would illegally go to enter and they're like, can't you stop them? Like, no, we don't have the laws to do that.
So it's sort of like our southern border. They're frustrated with the Mexican government not stopping them coming into the U.S.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. So the Canadians put the kibosh on this.
Yep.
I mean, it's still pretty easy to get over, though.
It is, and I mean, there's just so
Just
many
gotta run.
places.
There it is. Okay, so I mean, technically, if I ran over there right now, let's just do a hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm going down that street and I come back. What would you do as law enforcement?
Well, one, I would tell you not to cross the border in the first place because that would create a whole lot of problems, right? Because each country has its own technology and places. You would technically be incurring into Canadian soil. They can come arrest you for that. Coming back through, then you would be coming into the country illegally. Then Border Patrol would have to come deal with you. Now, you're a U.S. citizen, right? Which poses a special issue because you technically can't be stopped from coming into the country. So I would have to call somebody who's not me to figure that out because I got to tell you, that's confusing. But please, for the love of God, don't go across the border and then come back. You're going to just bust my chops.
And then what if I did it on a Native American reservation on the border? Then that would add more complexity.
If you made it back off that,
yeah,
that would be, then we'd figure that one out. There's a reservation, the St. Regis Mohawk Tribal Reservation, where half of it is on the Canadian side and the U.S. side, and they can actually go back and forth. And that's a huge hub for cross-border smuggling because they don't have the same regulations getting across. So people take advantage of that.
Okay, so that still continues?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were telling me that Glock, is this a Glock?
No, this is a SIG 320.
Okay, but you were telling me a Glock 19.
Any pistol pretty much will fetch thousands and thousands of dollars in Canada.
You said it would be 6,000 maybe up there?
Roughly.
And that would be $600 to buy here. So literally you could pack up a bunch of guns and make a ton of money.
Put it in a backpack, which has happened, and you smuggle it north across the border.
It's hard to get guns in Canada?
Yes. Police officers in Canada also can't carry their guns home. Whereas here in the States, we have laws. I can carry my gun anywhere in the U.S.
Right. So everyone that gets one of these guns over, obviously it's a criminal element to it and people are doing illegal things with their guns and shouldn't have them. And so the border's right over there, but what's going on in your neighborhood right now?
Nothing much goes on right through here. Once in a while they come through in this area right there.
Okay.
But most of the time it's up this way, maybe half a mile or a mile, just after you get past the tree line up here.
Okay.
Where the fields are open.
Yep.
They come through there. And then when you go this way and you go just past the crest of the hill there, they come through in that area there.
Is there much going on right now? Many coming over or not so much?
Not that I've seen any lately, but a couple of weeks ago they had them. We had a couple sitting out here on the corner waiting for the Border Patrol to come. And they sat there for like an hour and a half.
How does the community feel about all this? You guys talk about it or you just sort of stay to yourselves and not a big deal?
We talk about it if we see some action going on or
Okay.
Somebody's coming across or anything. We pretty much keep in contact with each other.
Does it mess with the safety or not really?
It hasn't so far.
Okay.
So, you never know, but gotta kind of watch and keep your doors locked, but otherwise.
Did you used to keep your doors locked?
We've only been here 5 years. In the beginning, we didn't, but more so now because you see more activity coming across.
Okay, so when you first moved here, the doors were open, and now
Yeah,
you lock
they
them.
were pretty much open then, even though we knew it wasn't as bad. And of course, at that time, they were picking them up and sending them back. Now they just pick them up and then they let them go after I guess they sign them in down at the Border Patrol down there.
Okay, at the time they would send them back.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they'd send them back when we first moved.
Interesting.
But they don't do that now.
Thank you.
They're out. Well, they're probably out there now.
I'm 1D14.
So this is one of the main veins, as in they come over there, and where we're going right now is this mini mart where a lot of the transport, from my understanding, brings them down to New York City.
One of the places, the main Mountain Mart is in Plattsburgh. That used to be the bus station. That used to be a huge location. But any of the stores, they congregate. They congregate at Stewart's and Champlain, and the people see it. There's been stories of people going into the store here, grabbing goods, and then walking back into the woods. It's just something they got to deal with.
You work here.
Eating.
What's it like these days?
It's actually like a little quiet compared to earlier.
Earlier, as in when?
About a month ago.
A month ago, it was busy.
Oh yeah. We'd pull in at 4 a.m. and they'd be sitting on the back lawn. A whole bunch of them.
And then what? Waiting for you to open, or what?
Yeah, that and waiting to find a ride.
Okay, so the rides were coming up here and then bringing them where?
We never call for rides. The only people we call for is the sheriffs.
So how do you feel about it?
I don't want to say because it would not be very good.
Because it's such a triggering issue for so many
Yeah.
people.
It don't feel safe.
Don't feel safe. I think most Americans are like, we're all for immigration, but just an orderly, safer way to do it than having to show up at work at 4 a.m. and have to wonder.
Especially because you got to lock your doors now.
You lock your doors now?
Oh, yeah.
At your house?
Yep. Vehicles, everything, because we get some that go in our woods and try to put up tents.
I used to work the early shift. They were always here, but
Yeah. So it's stopped though.
it's actually calmed down quite a bit.
That's great news.
Yeah.
So do you know why it's calmed down?
Because of those guys were up there in the border.
They're doing their jobs.
Oh yeah, they're cracking down.
So you guys really support the sheriffs here?
Oh yeah. Because the instant we call, they're instantly here.
They're here.
Yep.
Sweet.
Good guys.
Oh yeah.
That's what you want.
Yep.
We get sheriffs, we get border, we get custom all the time in the store. They're always coming in and grab something, so we're pretty protected here. I think so.
What about you guys? You should be scared of you or no?
No, I work at the plastic store for backup when they needed
Oh,
help
so,
down there,
yeah.
so I dealt with most of the immigrants that were sent there.
Okay, so what's your experience?
I hated them.
Why?
They were mean and with the bathroom. Otherwise, like you would put out a border because you had to clean it. They didn't care. They'd go in there. Like when you're only one person on shift, you can't clean the bathroom and try to run the register at the same time. I didn't like being there as a girl by myself.
What's the feeling of people in Morse right now?
They're worried about what they're gonna do with the border. All these people just walking in their backyards. Because we shouldn't have to feel like when we're coming to work in the morning, we shouldn't have to watch what we were doing. Because I would have to call a guy that would work with us in the morning. He'd meet me here just so I'd have backup in the door. Because one day we were walking in and he looked back and there was 3 people coming around the store and the girl was trying to lure him out. So I already unlocked the door and I was waiting and he hurried up and told me to unlock it. He was like, I don't want you to unlock the door right now. Because he was trying to deal with what they were going on outside. So I started calling him every morning and we'd meet here together and we'd walking together.
All right. Ladies, take care. Oh, they're sweet. You know what they said? Traffic has been down the last month or so. I'll tell you my reason.
So traffic has gone down a little bit, not a ton. It's the type of traffic. So more Indians, less Mexicans. But my personal opinion is this. We're going through the election season right now. And the thought process is with some, that if Trump becomes elected, he's going to shut the borders down and he's going to kick those out that are already here. So now would not be the time to come in because you're just going to get booted, right? They can go through the backlog, but I think it's highly unlikely. I believe our election has a huge impact on what's going on right now.
Okay, what about the theory that, well, now you can still pull it off, and if Trump gets into office, maybe the border becomes, the policies become much firmer and it's harder to get over. What about that?
Well, it may be harder to get over, but are you going to risk $20,000 to come here just for a month or two and then potentially get caught and shipped out? I think it also be the law changes in Canada, the visa program. It could be a lot of.
And also the cartels, usually, the path of least resistance. So on the southern border, some sectors are busy at times, others are quiet, and then it always sort of changes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for them, it's become more of a business, and maybe they are looking for a new chance, new opportunity, but it's that cat and mouse game. They're just going to constantly probe new areas. The only reason it's so lucrative and easy here is because of the border roads in Canada being near our roads. If you go out west, you may not find them to be in such close proximity.
Yeah, and you have a big city to fly into.
Yeah. That's the state police going to a complaint locally.
About what?
It looks like somebody kicked on a door, but it's probably a domestic thing.
Is that what most of the crime is, domestic stuff?
Not so much most, but there's a lot of it. There's definitely a lot of domestic issues. Any area, you're going to find pockets of economically depressed groups. You're going to find people that are poor, right? You're going to find people that have problems with alcohol. You're going to have people that have problems with drugs. And all those situations bring about further complications with the law. Property crimes, domestics, robberies. That stuff happens.
So it's really a socioeconomic issue?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. You can be rich and be into drugs. Sure, absolutely. But what you're willing to do to get those drugs, probably not the same as those people that are poor that want the drugs. Because the people that are poor that want the drugs don't have the finances, don't have the means. So they're willing to break the law and do other things in order to get that. And that is what compounds, and it just keeps expanding.
So what are you seeing in law enforcement, from your perspective now versus 5 years ago? Like, what are you dealing with? From... A lot of people don't get your guys' perspective. So
it's funny. When I came on the job, 2005, I got hired. And I was once told by the current undersheriff of the next county where I used to work that I would never draw my weapon. And I still remember those words. And part of me wishes he was right, because that's not the case. The world's changed. We see people carrying guns. We see people that are willing to do some pretty brutal things. I don't want to say that the criminal element is so bad to where you can't walk on the street. I'm not trying to paint that picture, but there's enough bad stuff going on up here to where people have no idea, right?
Even up here, we're pretty rural. Yeah. So we're talking Plattsburgh, right?
Yeah, Plattsburgh.
Which is what, 20,000, 30,000 people?
The city of Plattsburgh is about 20. Clinton County as a whole is about 82, 84. If you subscribe to the broken window theory, it's the idea that these lesser crimes that we're allowing to happen because of bail reform, law changes, we're allowing these kids, because of raise the age, to do things that we didn't let them do. And that emboldens them, and they go out and they do these other crimes, and we're not addressing it, and it just grows and grows. The same idea of the broken window theory is, somebody can come along and break a window in a nice house, and if you don't address that window, then everybody thinks it's okay to break the next window, and then the next window, and in the end, the house is completely destroyed because you're not addressing that smaller problem. We've had some sort of movement in law enforcement the last 4 or 5 years to where overnight law enforcement became the bad guy.
Right.
And we're now the problem. It wasn't so much that people were breaking the law. It's the fact that we were holding them accountable. And don't get me wrong, every profession's got these people that are just complete morons, and they go out and do stupid things. And we have, and we've witnessed it, and we don't appreciate that either, and we hold them accountable as well. But law enforcement as a whole in the last 5 years has been vilified.
Yeah.
And so the world is changing the fact that there's more crime because there's less teeth in law enforcement, there's less ability to enforce these laws, and people are more emboldened because here in New York State with bail reform, you get appearance ticket after appearance ticket after appearance ticket. It takes a while before you can get in front of a judge, before a judge will actually hold you accountable. Versus before you could arraign somebody that you knew was a danger, or something like that. That doesn't happen so much anymore. So there's more crime, there's more willingness to break the law, and there's less immediate repercussions. So therefore, these people will continue to do it.
Right. What's raise the age?
Raise the age was changing the age of criminal liability. For years, you used to tell people that if you were 16, you were responsible for what you did. And there's some science behind it to show that, people of younger age, they don't have the ability to make the processing decisions.
Yeah.
So therefore, they raised the age of criminal liability through 2 different years of movement. So now an 18-year-old is not treated like an 18-year-old. An 18-year-old is treated like a child, and therefore they're not responsible for the same level of offenses. And it's just been a movement. It's complex on what you can charge somebody, at what age, and what for. And the lawyers have gone through it, cops have gone through it, and you literally need a flow chart to identify what you can do with each person. And it never really was like that. And that in itself is creating a bigger problem. This particular road, when I first transferred here, it was around 2008, a woman ended up getting into a domestic with her husband and ended up shooting him in the back with a small caliber weapon. Apparently, you shouldn't argue with your spouse.
Do those things weigh on you? Like you go down this road again and it brings you back to that? Or
That's everywhere. Yeah, so I've lived a pretty rough career. I remember taking a shovel, and it was dead of winter. There was a fatal accident, and using a shovel to help remove this poor guy's head from the road. You don't forget those things. I remember picking up body parts. I remember, I'm a firm believer every scene you go to, you lose a little bit of yourself. But yeah, you remember that. And it hit. Do you keep doing it? Yeah, you keep doing it, but it doesn't change it. You can't ignore it. There's been this conversation that cops in their career, and firefighters and medics in their career will go through so much trauma. It's akin to being in a war zone beyond a rotation for a tour of duty. I've seen a lot. And again, I live in Mayberry, so if me in Mayberry, where I was told I was never going to draw my gun, I can only assume, the people that are working in a higher tempo area have certainly more than what I do. Right here is one of the areas where migrants like to come down through.
Okay, so that tree line out there is Canada?
Just north of the tree line.
Just north of the tree line. So this is one of the big roads.
It is.
Is it a daytime thing, a nighttime thing, or it doesn't matter?
It really used to be just nighttime. Now there's a group that doesn't mind coming across, giving themselves up. So what we're running into now is the groups of people that are coming down, and as soon as they get across the border, they're calling 911 saying, "Hey, I'm here, come get me."
Yeah. And so that's where it gets confusing, and unfortunately most of our media hasn't unpacked the entirety, and I can't do it in one video because there's a lot to it. But that's the big sticking point, right? Most people, from my understanding, can claim asylum. Now, is that a real asylum case or not is the question, right? So in certain jurisdictions that I've been at on the southern border, the authorities I've spoken with, the vast majority are economic migrants. They're coming for the opportunity, which, hey, if the green light's on, I'm going to do it too if I'm in that position, right? Courts are backed up for years, so they get in, they're quasi-legal, but in some instances, and actually many, they can't work. They don't have papers to work. So that's when you have a New York situation, or I'm going to Massachusetts soon, where there are hotels filled with migrants, paid for by the taxpayer, food, healthcare, everything, shelter. And that's where a lot of the friction lies, and it's a frustration for everyone, because why does the local citizen have to pay for that? We have enough problems with homeless in the country. We're incentivizing more to come, and a lot of these people coming just want to work. There's bad apples, of course. I don't agree with the whole, like, it's some army that's going to assemble on the U.S. side. I've seen most of these people are just like, they just want to work and an opportunity. There we go. The squirrel's making the run from Canada. Very good. And so that's where the sticking point lies. I don't think either side of the media will really unpack that clearly. It's easy to say everyone is coming from the worst conditions ever and we should accept everyone in, but that's not honest. It's not what's happening, right? And as we talked about earlier, you're coming from West Africa, you need 20 grand. At least you did. You need a lot. And at the time I was in the southern border from Honduras and up, it was 6 grand. Nobody just gets in.
No.
You're paying off. You're paying people off. Then the darkness of it comes when you have the guy that paid 6 grand, doesn't have the full 6 grand. The cartel said, okay, you can pay me in installments through Western Union or whatever. And then the family is sort of hostage back in the home country until he pays up. So he's almost like living this slavery type life in the U.S. where you can't work legally, you have to be under the table. You might have to take horrible conditions to do so. So the whole
Making a fraction of what somebody else who was doing that job would actually make if it was above the table.
And then it puts pressure on the lower end of American society because it lowers the wages. And also the migrants are going to communities where the poor people live. And so the rent prices go up because you have more heads in the community. Doesn't affect the rich people. So these are just like some basics that don't really get explained.
And everything compounds.
And everything compounds. And we're at this point where people are just, if they're dealing with it firsthand, they're really fed up.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at anybody who's reporting on it, look at the issues of all these people that fluctuate into the country and they're going to these locations where you're talking about. One of the things they're not really talking a lot about is the crime that comes from putting those people in the same areas. I mean, New York City's facing that left and right. They have homicides, they have fights, they have all these different things that are happening, and they can happen anywhere. But the point is, they're happening very much around these migrant centers. And people have to ask the question, well, why is that happening? And the same thing I brought up with you about the drug trade here. If people don't have the means to get what they need or want, they're going to find a way to do that. And oftentimes that's through crime. If we're letting them come into the country, but we're not giving them the means to earn while being here, while they wait, they're going to do things to get the things they need, whether it's stealing from the store, whether it's robbing somebody else, whether it's finding other ways. I mean, selling food, the open air markets that are happening, granted, not here locally, but in the bigger metropolitan areas. It's going to keep causing these problems. It's going to keep creating these little nuances that are going to affect the daily life of the people that live in the area, like you'd said, and the people that have to go through it.
And they're told by the cartels that there's all this opportunity going to work.
Yep.
And a lot of times they can't. And so it's illegal work. It could be prostitution.
Yep.
I mean, what goes on at the southern border, I don't know if it's happening here, but you know, they flood the zone. The cartel floods the zone one area. Our Customs Border Protection gets on it. Quarter mile down, that's when the fentanyl goes through.
Yeah,
the
so,
sex trafficking, all the dark stuff.
It's the same. The same stuff happens here. I mean, if you get a pickup load where Border Patrol moves in and local law enforcement, you're inevitably tying up resources. There's nothing you can do about it. Those resources are tied up, and then you're going to get other groups trying to cross.
And then for your residents that live here, maybe there's an emergency and you guys are more tied up dealing with these issues you shouldn't have to be dealing with.
It's just vastness. That's all you can think about if you look at the border. I mean, just look as far as you can see. It is huge. You have to think about that and the magnitude of how do you police it? I mean, there's ways to do it, and it's being done, right? Technology is a huge friend, but that's pretty daunting. And imagine trying to do that with reduced staffing in an age when nobody wants to get in law enforcement and everybody's trying to hire and you just don't get people. So you gotta fight those battles too.
Is that the case here?
I think it's the case anywhere. I mean, I think there's very few agencies that across the country that are not struggling to hire people. Very few.
So they just don't want to get into it because over the last few years, they've been put under the bus to some degree. You know, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, I can't imagine going out and dealing with the heaviness of society. Say you have a family, you got to leave and deal with that every day. And then you might not get admiration or respect for doing the hard yards.
It's not even the admiration or the respect. It's the fair shake, right? There's no fair shake anymore. in law enforcement, you can't make a mistake. And we've removed the idea that police are human, right? You have to be perfect. And don't get me wrong, there have been some absolutely heinous acts by people in uniform, right? Complete scumbags. We know that. But in law enforcement now, they feel like we're out to get them. And there's this us-them mentality, meaning society as a whole.
Who's they, though?
The society. I think that's what it is.
I don't think most people feel that way.
They may not, but that's what's being represented. And now
that's the image we're seeing.
We're enacting laws and all these things against law enforcement, and we're doing it under the guise of open law enforcement. We're doing it under the guise of we're trying to build relationships, and I don't know if that's the case, but how many people do you think want to go out and deal with the worst that society has to offer? People that are carrying guns, people that are breaking the law, but you have to be perfect, and you get a split second to make that decision.
Right.
The same decision that it's going to take lawyers and other people weeks to determine whether you were right or wrong, and you get 30 seconds. The same people that tell us that we're horrible, right? We have media people that are talking about cops, this or that, and we put them through the same scenarios through law enforcement training, and they fail just as much, if not more. And yet they're so quick to judge. Would you really want that? Knowing that the truth doesn't come out, because the truth no longer matters. It's who's fastest, who gets it out quick, who's the first. And then the truth will come out eventually, but the truth will be a footnote to the page 9. And do you really want to get into that? No, that's why nobody wants to be attacked.
So we're going to attract the worst officers.
I don't think we're going to attract the worst, but we're certainly dropping our standards to fill the ranks.
Say you have to fill 10 positions and you have 500 applicants, you can take the best of those 500. If you have 10 positions and you have 10 applicants,
you are definitely hiring people now that you wouldn't have hired 10 years ago.
That's my point.
And here's the thing. We talked about law enforcement being overburdened before and all these other things. You know what we're doing now? We're doing the same job plus more, but we're doing it with less people, working more hours, which is exactly what they said they didn't want to happen.
Which is going to burn them out.
Yes.
And if I've been dealing with, I had a BS day all day long.
You're going to make a bad
And
choice
then say, you have a fight with your wife in the morning, whatever it might be. You're coming into work with stress. You're dealing with the dregs of society. The last part of the day, someone comes at you physically. I don't know how you do it.
I mean, you try to do it the right way. Luckily, we work with a lot of people that are doing the job for the right reasons, and we're doing it out here because we're trying to save the world, right? You've been in my office, you saw Superman everywhere. The whole point is because I think I can save the world, and that's what I want. Is I want people to like
purpose and meaning. That's what you get in your work.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't have that in their lives.
Some people think I'm mentally ill because of the dedication that I have to the agency and to the job. But at the same point, I've been on the other side, right? I've lived a life where I grew up poor, single mother. I've been in jail before I got out of high school.
You've been in jail?
Absolutely 100%.
For what?
I broke into a bunch of summer camps. And the point is that accountability, which we cannot give to the young people in society today, is the only thing that saved me. Was getting in trouble and being accountable, because with a single mother who had to go do what she had to do and no father, I was left to do what I wanted. And in the end, I messed up. And it wasn't but the court system that actually helped me. And then the jail, where I actually realized this is not the life I want. People are like, oh, you've been to jail? Yeah, I've been to jail. I was in high school. It's sealed, but I talk about it openly. You know why? Because it might help somebody else, but that no longer exists. We can't do that to young people. We can't. So those people aren't going to get the accountability that I got, and I don't think they're going to have the same chances I got.
And then you do your job here, and you're going to be called xenophobic or whatever, or you don't like immigrants, or you don't.
Not the case,
right?
But of course, because I'm enforcing the law,
right?
It's.
So you guys hands
no matter
are
what you do, you're damned if you do, you're damned.
Your hands are really tied.
Yeah.
So and you can't speak up.
I'm only here because my boss said, "Come speak with me." Right?
You glad he said that?
Listen, at this point, I can retire in 6 months. What's the worst that's going to happen, right? People are going to look at me and say, "Yeah, he's got a point," or they're going to say he's an asshole. It's one of the two.
It's luxury beliefs that allow you to think you don't need law enforcement in life, because I've been to countries where it's broken down and it sucks. And so society, maybe not up here in the countryside, but most cities would fall apart in literally 12 hours. It would be absolute Mad Max chaos.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And a lot of people, since they live in maybe a place like this, I'm not saying these people, but if society falls, law enforcement falls, you're looking at the cornfields. It doesn't really affect you as much.
No, and the funny part about living up here is even the people that are on the furthest extreme, they still, despite maybe not like getting pulled over, they still respect law enforcement up here, which is interesting. It's
on the
true.
furthest extremes, both sides, or just one side?
I think on both.
Okay.
I think so.
Most people want it. They're just, in society right now, a lot of people are quiet in so many
it's
ways.
making things more difficult because
like
in our small agency right now, we've got, I'd say it's probably 5% open that we could hire, right? So we're down 5% for staffing. The New York State Police, right? They get paid well. They are having trouble with staffing. Any agency in the country is having trouble with staffing. The Border Patrol, trouble with staffing. You're asking people to go out and do these jobs that other people don't really want to do in conditions that they don't want to go do it, knowing that one wrong move can immediately put you in a position where you could lose everything.
Looks like a new crossing, huh?
Yeah, they've done some work on it.
So up here at this sector, you have a lot of small crossings, huh?
Yeah.
There's a lot of this going on.
Yep. There's so many different roads that intersect so many towns on each side.
Right.
That to make it one point, you're talking about going 40 miles just to get to a border crossing to come back 40 miles when all the roads are right here. So it's a matter of convenience for the American and Canadian people to have these.
So much activity here, are you seeing, or not really?
No. This is where it should be.
Yeah.
Right? This is where it should be, but it's not.
Do you think a lot of people are working over the border?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I'm sure there's some, but I don't think it's a huge cross-border employment kind of.